Hello, everybody. No, there's nothing wrong with. I guess there's nothing wrong with John Cena either. There is nothing wrong with your computers. There's no issue with YouTube. This is After Dark. We are here trying at a slightly brand new time. We decided why not try and go a little earlier, see how it works out. So we are here, considering the fact we did not market the new time. If you catch in the first hour, we appreciate you looking at the channel. But let's go ahead and get around to the crew. We have a guest with us tonight, and we have some of the regular crew. Let's go around the horn. He is right now Devonless, but hopefully his Devon will come. Mr. Nicky, how's it going, man?
Hey guys, yeah. For some reason, there it is. Yeah, this is the way. I got my helmet right here. I've got my red lightsaber. And I'm gonna kill Kanan with it right now. No, I would never do that. That's a line, guys. We don't kill Kanan. You don't want to be like Cate Blanchett's evil twin sister from Star Wars Rebels. That character had to have been based off her from Crystal Skull. You know which character I'm talking about, right, Beer?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And with that, we'll introduce the man who spoke, Mr. Matt Beer. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. Just slowly getting my setup done and
everything. It's got a new mic.
I do have a new mic. I just got to get a new PC now, which is going to be expensive because every single thing I need that's going to cost a little bit extra has been upped in price due to everybody needing computers for.
Dude, easy on the graphics card. If you're just going to be editing, you don't need a wicked hard graphics card.
It's got to be 4K. It's got to be something I can edit.
You didn't get a 4K. 1050 Ti is 4K.
We'll see. I don't want it to crash on me. If you want to, then go ahead. Okay. I'll take one.
I'll send it.
Cool. And on to a man whose name makes him sound like he'll know a lot about tech, Dr. Spaceman. Alan Shepard's back with us. How's it going, man?
Good. I'm doing my homage to Alien 3.
Do you have a graphics card for us, Alan?
I don't, bro. I wish I had a graphics card. I got a TurboGrafx 16. I got Bonk's Adventure. Ooh, what's happening?
Nice.
Ain't none of y'all old enough to know that. Boom!
That's great.
What your camera's doing is impressive because as you move, it's trying to pick whether to focus on you or the dino teeth in front of it.
I know. It's fun, right?
Woo! And finally tonight, I believe it's his first time ever on the show, but he's a recurring watcher. We always like having him in the comments.
Looks like
now we have him on the show. Mr. Malcolm Lay is joining us of Full Metal, of Take 3, of your internet Facebook page. How's it going, man?
Doing pretty good. Just here by chance, really, because I moved Rankum to the day before because I had something else on, but then that got cancelled today, and here I am.
Absolutely. Well, we are happy to have you by chance or by purpose, guys. We are here. We are excited. We are ready. And to this week, I truly am excited to say I actually had time to be prepared. I had all sorts of news stories pulled, all sorts of videos ready. The format was back. And then about 20 minutes after I wrapped production on the videos, this little story drop that we're going to go into first. As reported by The Hollywood Reporter initially, they announced that J.J. Abrams and his company Bad Robot will be working with Warner Brothers and DC Films to set up a brand new Superman film. Now, while this portion of it is not confirmed, it is highly rumored to be focused on an African-American Superman. Abrams will not direct as of now. He will just be producing through Bad Robot. And the film has also brought on a screenplay writer by the name of Ta-Nehisi Coates. I hope I pronounced that right. Who is an essayist and a novelist. He's also been a comic writer before, having written lines for Captain America and Black Panther. However, he has never written a screenplay, so this will be his first foray into the world of film, although he is an accomplished writer in many other fields. As of now, there is no discussion of a lead being in the running, and obviously a lot of people have asked about the future of Henry Cavill based off this film. Obviously, again, it's not confirmed that this will be a Black Superman film, but there...
Oh, damn it, I don't have that soundbite.
But there is if it's highly rumored, then that would quite obviously mean, if you take a look at Henry Cavill, that he will not be playing Black Superman. Not unless the same producers of Breakfast at Tiffany's are working on this. So
that would be a bold, drastic change in direction for DC. I mean, God.
Would it be worse than the mustache?
I don't even want to go down that road.
There's a man with a good mustache, Carl Urban.
So
he can rock a mustache.
Let's throw it to our guest here tonight. Malcolm, what are your thoughts on this new film being announced? Let's throw you right in the heat of all this.
I mean, this is one that when I saw it, was like, okay, I'm all for this. I do like the character Superman. And I know that in the comics there is a black Superman that exists, so maybe they're going to focus on that character.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that worries me is the fact that the person that got on writing it has never written a screenplay before. I mean, we've seen how that worked for Fantastic Beasts, so I mean, you can do what you want, say what you want about that. But this could be interesting. I would be surprised if it does turn out JJ is going to end up directing it, because it kind of would make sense at this point. But
I'm very protective of JJ. Be careful.
Hey, I mean, I like JJ as a director. So I mean,
me and Alan are just ready to pounce. We love JJ.
JJ is a great director as long as he's not writing the screenplay. Now I'll go to Matt next. This is a concept that's been around for a while. You know, the rumor of JJ directing a Superman film has been around for maybe a year now, and the concept
and there's that exclusive contract.
Yes, he does have a contract now, and the concept of a Black Superman film was actually first talked about, I believe, back in 2018 or 2019, a couple of years ago, when it was rumored that Warner, off the heels of kind of Justice League's failure, had approached Michael B. Jordan about rebooting the character as a Black Superman, as a producer and as a star. So I'll go to you, Matt. What are your thoughts on this story?
So, first off, I am a little worried about the writer, considering the fact that they have never written a screenplay before, and as far as I've heard, I've never read their comics, because they've written a few comics. Not the greatest, as far as what I've heard. Not like one of the better writers out there. I've found mixed things about the writer, so that does worry me a little bit. Yeah. I'm just really hoping that this is going to still have Henry Cavill in it, because he deserves another movie. I love him as Superman. And I know they say reboot, but Patty Jenkins did call Wonder Woman 84 kind of a reboot, like a soft reboot, so they can maybe go that route with a Man of Steel 2, if that's going to be the plan.
If Wonder Woman 84 is a reboot of Wonder Woman, they need to do that other thing where they erase the sequels and go back
do a Days of Future Past movie. Yeah. Just to be like, you know what, this doesn't exist, kind of like X-Men 3 doesn't exist. But,
they can have Chris Pine age up, and he can be played by Will Shatner. Just have Will Shatner play old Steve Trevor. It'd be beautiful. Beautiful, Alan.
See how those work.
Maybe.
Nikki, let's go to you, man. Why do you hate this?
Me? I'm surprised you think I have any opinions on DC stuff. Good week for Soups, though. Soups had a big week this week. I mean, anytime there's Superman news, I like it, because the world needs Superman. I mean, Ben Affleck says that line in both versions of Justice League, I believe. So with the thing with this is that the idea of Black Superman, they were doing a comic years ago where they had these Elseworlds DC heroes, and one of them was Black Superman, and it was modeled very much after Barack Obama. Like this was a very Obama-looking Superman. But I was always worried about it, was that if you had this version of Superman, that you wouldn't be able to have the classic version of Superman. But at this point with DC's been a lot more lenient with their characters than they used to be. I remember back in the Smallville days, like Smallville wanted to add Bruce Wayne, they wanted to add Batman, and they said, no, you can't do that. We can only have one Batman. But now they're being a lot more lenient, where you have these like 3 different versions of Jokers across different shows. You have different Batman. Bruce Wayne's on like 4 different TV series and movies out right now, if you count them up. And Supergirl's going to the movies, The Flash is going to the movies. They know that their audience is smart enough to have different versions of characters, and if you make different versions of characters, different audience will go see it. Look at a movie like Black Panther. that made people come out in droves to see a superhero that looked like them. So I think this is a great idea to do. I don't think this affects Henry Cavill at all. I think we're still going to get a Man of Steel 2, because once the Snyder Cut comes out, I think there's going to be clamoring for that. But I like J.J. Abrams producing it. I don't think he's ever produced a movie that I didn't like, besides maybe some of the Cloverfield movies. But I don't even know how much he was in that. I love his Star Trek movies. I love his Star Wars movies. I give him a chance. Mission Impossible, he revitalized that franchise too. JJ's good at doing like the big franchise things. He's good at setting up an aesthetic.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and toss up.
I haven't talked that much never.
Nikki referenced and Malcolm referenced them, so I'll pull it up. So this is the Superman. They are talking about Calvin Ellis, also known as Kal-El, I believe is the Kryptonian name. And as you can see, it is very clearly inspired by Obama.
Huh. So he's not... That just made me think. Do you think there's a possibility that this just takes place in the DCEU, or do you think it's its own thing?
Well, so that was one of the things I was gonna. I meant to mention when I first brought the story.
Because I thought it was just a replacement for Kal-El.
No, so one of the things I meant to mention when I first brought it up, and let me get back to the article, is the exact wording in a quote. I apologize.
That's amazing.
For the delay. Here, so the quote that the writer Coates gave was, "To be invited into the DC Extended Universe by Warner Bros. DC Films and Bad Robot is an honor. I look forward to meaningfully adding to the legacy of America's most iconic mythic hero." Now, that could just be incidental wording. Maybe he didn't know how to word it, and he used the term DCEU because that's what we all know. Maybe it is.
But if that's it, it's perfect. Universe. Yeah. Well, it doesn't sound like he's replacing Cavill. Like, this sounds very much open-ended. Like we're gonna do this, and we're gonna have other Superman. You, the people who are traditionalists with Superman, you're gonna have your Superman. People who want the Black Superman will get the Black Superman, and we can all be happy having them play together, I hope.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those ones that, when it comes to DC, I have no idea what they do with that, because I think
everything.
Well, that's right. It started off with it being everything is connected in DCEU, but then from Shazam and that, it's kind of all over the place, in which they're kind of separate, their own separate stories. I have no idea where this echo's coming from, but with that being, it's just one of those ones that I don't know if this will be connected. But what is Barack Obama doing these days? Maybe they should cast him. So.
Oh my God! Can you imagine? $4 billion opening weekend. Yeah. The movie theater industry is saved from coronavirus. That's like the first big release is Barack Obama's Superman.
It'd be like another inauguration event.
Just cast Michelle as Lois Lane
to the premiere.
Yeah. Get that lady that said that poet that was at the inauguration. Get her to play Supergirl. It'd be beautiful.
Right.
Huh?
So, Alan, when you're done talking to your T-Rex there, what are your thoughts on this, man? Still muted.
He's muted. Oh my.
No, he's not muted, but he's still somehow muted.
Here, let me try to.
Oh no.
He might have accidentally muted his mic, maybe on his end.
He says that he loves The Rise of Skywalker. And
okay, I'm not the only one who's messing with this then.
No, not yet, Alan. We got nothing. I'll let you know when we hear you. I'm so sorry. This is riveting. I really think this is exciting.
This wasn't.
Though.
We weren't prepared. No, this just happened live.
No, this just happened.
We do this live. So
it is live. Alan, why don't you jump out and then jump back in? We'll try that. See if that works.
I'm gonna jump back out.
Oh, we hear you. No, we had you, Alan. No.
Oh, that was perfect. So,
God.
Just till he gets back. This is one of those things where it's like, yeah, I agree with Malcolm. I don't know why Warner's going after someone who hasn't written a script before, because, again, we all saw how well that worked with Fantastic Beasts. It's not the best move to make.
And Fantastic Four.
Well, they didn't make... No, those people had written scripts before.
Oh no, okay, yeah. I was just, sorry.
I mean, on that note, we don't know if Warner Bros. Is going to pair him up with someone who has written a script before to keep him in line.
Oh,
Because they're doing that with Steve Kloves and with the Fantastic Beasts 3.
We lost Beer now too, but we got Alan back.
Am I here?
You actually came back in right before you left.
All right. Sorry, Malcolm. I didn't mean to jump in the middle of that. But let me say,
Malcolm didn't jump in the middle. Are you kidding me, guys?
I was trying to put that in earlier. I was going to say, can we put Malcolm in the middle, please?
We're going to be able to get Bryan Cranston on the show after that.
We got to do
Thank you, Alan.
Yes, you're welcome. So on the subject of
confused because I'm in a different room.
Yes, this new Superman. Fine. If it's, I don't care either way. I just don't want another reboot. I don't want another origin story. It's just like Batman's. It's just like Spider-Man's. We've had enough origin stories of Superman.
It sounds like it's a different character.
If he's a different character, even better. That's cool. But if it's, what would happen if Superman, quote unquote, was raised in another environment, not in Kansas? Well, we saw him when he turned bad in Brightburn. We saw him when he was Russian in
in Red Sun.
In that Red Sun. So I as long as that'd be better if they made another character that's Superman-esque, perhaps.
So what Alan's saying is he wants to see what would happen if Kal-El was raised in Spike Lee's Chirac movie.
That would be awesome.
Because what would Von Pa Kent do if they found a black baby out in the field? That's a good question. I hope that those people are pure and they would take him in anyway.
They would raise the baby exactly like they raised Kal-El.
I really hope so. Of
course they would.
But it's Kansas.
Come on, man. So you got to stop that.
I really hope so.
Save that for the other show that me and Matt are doing.
Okay, no, I will, because it does raise a question. It's about the black perspective, though. Nikki, like that's what a lot of these black stories are, is that you see, like, one thing that I really love this season about Batwoman is that it's a different Batwoman. They have a black Batwoman now, but you're seeing the perspective of a black woman that has been like victimized by a society that is against her. So it's just like, if they did that sort of thing with Superman, it's a little touchy. It might be a little cringy for some people, but I think that would be great. I think it's an exciting...
Batwoman take place in the 1950s?
No, it takes place now.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
It's fun though. It's a good show. There's good stuff. Devin, you can talk about this better than we can. No. You have opinions on Black Superman. You've always had opinions on Black Superman.
What?
He wants to talk about Black Superman.
What?
He wants to talk about Black Superman.
Devin looks like he just walked in and got shoved in.
Right, and which he did. He just walked in.
I'm saying it's a good thing that we're gonna get like a Black Superman.
Perfect.
I hope it's its own character.
There's nothing
not
wrong
Idris.
With it.
Jesus.
But
I thought we were talking about Idris.
Idris was
Black Superman. We were talking about Black Superman. That's the only.
As that.
So J.J. Abrams is producing a Superman movie that will have an African American Superman.
Possibly.
Black
it's
Superman.
Not confirmed.
He's not African. He's Kryptonian. Yeah, not confirmed, but rumor.
We should say.
So what do you think of that? We had
theoretical.
one viewer and then he left. He jumped in and he's like, "This water's too hot for me," and then left. A bunch of pasty white guys talking about Black Superman.
Is it supposed to be Kal-El or is it some other?
So that's the thing.
There's no detail.
The Black Superman in the comics is called Kal-El. It's like, is that it's like CEL?
I'll find it proper.
Yeah,
it's an existing comic book character.
It's an existing comic book character. It was modeled off Barack Obama.
So here's what we should say. The film has no details. This is all conjecture. All we know is
all conjecture.
New Superman film.
Yep.
For all we know, it is a white Superman, and
but
it's
I want it.
Of Clark Kent. For all we know, it's an original non-comic based black character Superman, or it could be based on. So the character's name is Calvin Ellis. His Kryptonian name is it is Kal-El.
No, not Cal. Cal or Kel?
Kal-El.
K-A-L?
I misread it. Yes, Kal-El.
Okay, so it is Kal-El crashed in a different family. Okay.
Well, he's also black.
Okay.
But yes.
Also black, yes. What about Jor-El?
when I was a kid.
Yeah, this is New 52.
Let's get down to brass tacks, though. Who were you casting for this Black Superman?
Honestly, I think they had the right choice a couple of years ago. I think you go back and get Michael B.
Jordan. Yeah. I saw J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot, John Boyega.
You get Michael B. Jordan.
I don't know if you want to go to the franchise that quickly again.
And Boyega would be...
But this franchise, he's clearly the lead of. That's the difference.
Boyega would be good.
Justice for Boyega.
And then have
True.
Oh, come on
I know
now.
you hate that, Alan. I know you hate that. I know you hate that.
We are not
I know you hate that.
All right.
I know you hate. I'm just saying, it's JJ, because JJ always wanted Finn to be more of a centerpiece. If he had done the sequel, that's one of the things that we know, and that's why
JJ's fault. It ain't nobody else's fault.
It is. The
opportunity.
We can talk about the Rise of Skywalker for days. I love that movie either way.
I was about to say there was the rumor. I remember reading rumors a few years ago that Michael B. Jordan was in talks with Warner Brothers about a Black Superman movie.
He wanted to produce that.
So maybe this is the same project, or is this something different? I don't know, but
so Warner Brothers, to kind of add some context to that. This is the great thing about doing news stories every week. I can learn these things and remember them. So Michael B. Jordan, to use a term that I don't know you can use, is technically in bed with Warner Brothers because he is the producer of their Static Shock film, which is in development
Static Shock
DC. So he's already in the family. So you could, if you want to, make that extension and be like, well, now we got a writer, we got a JJ, we got a Bad Robot.
That's the first I've heard of that, though.
Good.
They should
they need to get that word out. Do we have a release date on that?
No, way the fuck away from
stages.
They should get Shaka King, the guy who directed Judas and the Black Messiah, to direct because that film is amazingly well directed.
Incredible.
That guy has skills beyond belief. So they should get him. Because I'd like to see a lot more stuff from him.
I'm gonna put forth another option for Black Superman, and I'll pull up a picture in just a second because he is somebody that has worked with Bad Robot before. So the actor's name, I'll pull his image up now.
Martin Lawrence.
No.
Oh yeah, please.
He's a younger
Terrence
actor.
Howard.
His name is Devon Adepo.
Devon Adepo.
I shared his Wikipedia. My bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, he has an impressive resume.
He was in Fences. He was in Overlord. He was the lead of Overlord.
Shit!
Which is where he worked with. Which is where he worked.
Very
with
good
Bad
in
Robot.
that.
And then let me pull up his image. There we go.
That's a movie I forget about, but he's so good in that.
Yeah, he's good.
Like, that's a shot. And he was also in earlier this year.
He was real good in Overlord.
I mean, this isn't a CW show though. He's got the smolder there.
Right, and then last year he was also in When They See Us, which was incredible, and I haven't seen it, but he was in Watchmen as well for an episode. So he's worked with DC too.
There you go.
I mean, I know he's Black Manta, but
he's not Black Manta. That's a different person.
No. You brought up Watchmen.
Oh,
so the guy who played Black Manta?
Yahya Mateen? Nah, I don't think so. Only because he is Black Manta.
He's Black Manta, and Black Manta's coming back. So
yeah, Black Manta and Dr. Manhattan, both characters in the DC universe.
But they're not crossed over.
No.
Who's the guy that
he could be in the Snyder Cut. Blue Dong and all.
Who's the guy that's in Bridgerton? A really, really handsome dude.
I can find it.
Because I was
about to say, like with Yahya, I don't think they'll get him to be Black Superman, just because he is in Black Manta as well. Just because if it was a character that he only needed to be the voice for, maybe. But this is not going to be the case. But an interesting idea for director because this could be a chance to get Spike Lee to direct a superhero movie.
Shit, I would love that.
Then you get in that perspective that I was talking about. Because he's not going to do anything that doesn't have like a message behind it. That doesn't have actual realism behind it.
Oh,
so here
definitely.
we go. So I'll pull up the other image that Alan was referencing to, and if this isn't the correct person, let me know. But I believe the gentleman's name is pronounced Regine Page.
Yes.
And let me. Here's.
I think that is the name as well. But this dude is way too handsome.
Now, I know I have
talk about a smolder. Damn.
I have not seen Bridgerton, which I believe is his biggest role to date. I know my dad has, and apparently you see a lot of him in it. So we know he's got physique. You have to.
Yeah. He's also has a really good. I think he could play because he's got the strong, stern look, but can play kind of dorky if he's doing a secret identity alter ego of Superman. He can play both. Yeah. So I think that would be cool.
And actually, his obviously Bridgerton was popular enough that it does a lot for him. His star-making role is actually on the rise. I didn't put it in the news story.
Guys, they knocked the camera over.
Either for
looks like your buttocks is on there, bruh. So please change that angle.
No, that's Kanan's ass. That was Kanan's ass.
It was either for last week or this week. I can't remember, but he was actually added to the cast of the upcoming Dungeons and Dragons film.
Oh yeah,
Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez. So he potentially has a star-making turn. So that might not be a bad train to hop on. That film,
true,
Warner Brothers. So it's not a bad. I think there's a lot of good options. With that being said, unless anyone has anything else to add, we can go ahead and move on from this. Because I think it'll be something that we'll talk about a lot in the future when we know more for sure.
More information, yeah.
So I do want to throw in a casting thing, as we have the casting couch over by Nikki and Devin. The person, like, let's say this is the Black Superman movie, because we don't know if it is. If it is, and if they have Jor-El, I haven't read the comics, so I don't know. I don't care who plays Kal-El. It could be John Boyega. It could be Terrence Howard Mann. It could be anybody. But let's get Denzel in a comic book movie. Let's make him Jor-El.
Denzel as Jor-El.
Get him Jor-El. Or if they want to go with Zod again.
Russell Crowe levels of Inspired.
I mean, Denzel has been in a comic book movie, really. He was in Two Guns, which is a comic book.
Oh, you're
that
right.
is a comic book adaptation.
Rephrase a good comic book movie. Let's get him in a good comic book movie.
Ain't nothing wrong with Two Guns. I like that movie.
It's fine.
It's not the greatest, but it's Denzel. Denzel.
Was that Marky Mark or was that
on that note,
Marky Mark.
Denzel, if you want Denzel's Jor-El, John David Washington is Kal-El.
That'd be another.
God damn it, guys.
Are we doing a reunion? Are we bringing Spike as director, John David Washington as Superman, and Denzel as Jor-El? But before we move on, I just want to make that last comment. Alan, I actually think what you said is brilliant. If we're going to continue the train of taking small up-and-coming directors and putting them onto bigger projects after a success, Shaka King is a brilliant shout. That movie is incredible.
It really is.
One of the things I like about it is it for me at least, it directly addresses the politics around the situation without being completely political itself. Like it never tries to tell you that Fred Hampton was right. It just tries to present what happened, which I like.
Yeah, and I can't remember else's name.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Kaluuya. He is. It's like watching news footage of Hampton. It's really incredible.
So good.
His vocal pattern, his speech pattern is absolutely brilliant. And what I like about that movie is he directed, about the director of Shaka King, is the quiet moments are really intense. He lets the camera linger just long enough that you're reading everything. The focus is always good. And he can do action sequences, the rooftop scene where he's getting shot at.
Yeah.
It's a really good, jarring handheld, but still you're focused on everything. Mm-hmm. He's got a lot of skill. I love a lot of the shots in that movie are just beautiful to watch. I really like that.
What I will say to close out the Superman bit without talking about Superman, what I will say is, as somebody who obviously talked a lot about the HBO deal, and I have my own personal thoughts on it. I support theaters when I can, and I know it's hard because some people don't have them open. If you can get access to HBO Max and your theaters are not open, or your theaters are, but it's not in a situation where you're comfortable going, something like The Little Things I don't think is worth getting HBO Max for. Get HBO Max to see this film while it's still
there. Judas is really good.
It is incredible.
It's really
Daniel Kaluuya should be nominated for an Oscar.
Yes.
Lakeith Stanfield's great. Jesse Plemons is great. Dominique Fishback is great. Another one of the smaller actors, I forget her name offhand, but she plays one of the Panthers. Judy, she's the other main woman Panther. She's the woman playing Ironheart in the upcoming Marvel series.
Really?
Yeah, so it's a strong cast, great performances, well written, well directed. So let's move on from Superman as we get into the first planned topic that we'd had for the day. And I'll go ahead and pull up the video for it. This week, Nikki. Disney Plus.
It just went through my head. I said I want Monica Rambeau to be Black Superman. She's just the best.
All right. Well, let's go ahead. Speaking of Monica Rambeau, we're not talking about WandaVision.
She can do it.
We're talking about Disney Plus. Let's go ahead and get into it. We begin tonight's show by talking about Disney Plus. This week, they began the week by announcing a slew of release dates for new and upcoming shows that were previously announced at their investor meeting last year. Here's a list of some of the bigger ones coming out. Big Shot. John Stamos stars as a former NCAA basketball coach who has to move to an all-girls high school after being fired. Big Shot debuts on Friday, April 16th. Star Wars The Bad Batch. The Clone Wars spin-off show focused on a team of misfit clones in the era of the early Empire kicks off on a date they couldn't resist, Tuesday, May 4th. After that special airing, the next episode will air Friday, May 7th and continue airing on Fridays. Season 2 of High School Musical, the series. The spin-off show to the fan-favorite High School Musical film series, and a show which is far fucking better than it has any right to be, returns after being delayed previously and will air on Friday, May 14th, and has been confirmed for 12 episodes. Loki, the third Marvel Disney Plus series, will begin airing on Friday, June 11th, and will run for 6 episodes. Monsters at Work. The long-in-development sequel story for Monsters, Inc. and Pixar's first show contribution to Disney Plus will begin airing on Friday, June 11th. Friday, July 2nd. I don't know how I misread that. And Turner and Hooch. The reboot of the 1989 caper stars Josh Peck as Scott Turner and 5 French Mastiffs as Hooch, and will begin airing on Friday, July 16th. Fuck-ups aside, these are some of the biggest shows coming out, but many more were announced. The full list can be found online. Following these announcements, another Disney Plus rumor circled the web as Star Wars fan site Kessel Run Transmissions, which, though not a trade, has actually made a number of accurate Star Wars reports in the past, reported that Disney Plus's Star Wars Ahsoka is circling Aladdin star Mina Massoud for the role of Ezra Bridger. Though Bridger had not been previously reported to be in Ahsoka, many fans of the franchise assume it's a foregone conclusion he will appear, as his ending on the show Star Wars Rebels directly ties into Grand Admiral Thrawn, who will be appearing and was teased previously in The Mandalorian. The show is currently led only by Rosario Dawson as the titular character, and will really... Alright.
Oh, you didn't have to cut him off.
You need to add
your own self off.
I have to say
cut your past self off. What?
I have to say though, Aaron, my dad predicted this like a year ago. So after the first season, predicted the Aladdin Ezra thing. Yeah, because a year ago I was like roughly around when the Rona was starting. I don't know if we could say that, but around when that was started, we needed stuff to do. So he watched season 1 of Mandalorian, and I was catching him up on like the animated stuff that Filoni had done that might connect. And as soon as he saw Ezra, he's like, "It's Aladdin." And then like we got to like the episode that Ahsoka shows up, and there's literally and Darth Maul's Jafar. So it's like they're gonna have Aladdin play Ezra, so he called that like a year ago. I just think that's funny that and he's not the only one. A lot of people made the comparisons right when Rebels started. Like, hey, it's Aladdin in space. He's Space Aladdin, and like if he's Space Aladdin, Darth Maul is Space Jafar. I mean, naturally.
Yeah, and honestly, we'll start there then, since you brought it up. If that is the casting, I like it.
Perfect.
Aladdin wasn't a perfect film, but I actually thought Mina Massoud's performance was one of the stronger points. I liked
He's the right age.
I mean, yeah, he was the right age. I liked him as Aladdin. I thought he brought as much charisma to it as the script would let him. I didn't think it was the best written script, and I thought Kim, kind of along with Will Smith, Naomi Scott, a lot of the actors were doing the best they could with what they were given, and I would put him in that category. Alan, you're looking around like you're a suspect down there. What are you thinking?
He hates Aladdin. He hates that movie.
I hate that movie.
He hates it.
You can put it on mute and just watch the Jasmine scenes, and that's all you need because.
So you like Speechless?
Yes.
Speechless is actually a really good song. It just doesn't fit in the movie.
It doesn't fit in the movie.
Yeah.
The whole movie doesn't fit in the movie. It's terrible. Terrible for the film.
Oh, come on, man. No.
It's horrible. But
I love it. No.
But that kid did show some promise. He was fine. Yeah, I think Aaron, you said the right thing. The script didn't give him anything to do. And so it was, he would be good. I'd like to see him under good direction and good script.
Yep.
Guy Ritchie is in a good direction.
Guy Ritchie is a
not that
director.
film. Did you
Guy
actually watch that movie?
I love that movie.
He wasn't the right pick for that movie.
I'm not going to disagree with you just because you don't get a lot of Guy Ritchie flavor in it. And we're not talking about that. I just have to say, though. No, it's an adaptation of Aladdin. It was meant to be an adaptation. It's not meant to do its own thing. The sequel that they're making, you're probably going to get more what you want to see there because they're sure as hell not adapting Return of Jafar.
True. But let's say Jafar. The dude who played Jafar. Oh, my Lord.
Darth Maul. Have Darth Maul.
Whoa.
All right, something non-Aladdin related. Malcolm, what do you think about this?
I was going to say that I was speechless about Alan's take on Aladdin.
Speechless.
But with that being said, Mina Masood is an interesting casting choice for Ezra. I could see it. I just not too sure we're going to see a lot of Ezra in the Ahsoka series because
that's the next spin-off.
Well, if it goes the way I think it's going, it's going to be Ahsoka and Sabine tracking down Ezra and Thrawn. But yeah, if that it's one of those ones when it comes to release that's good. We know when they're coming out. For me, I've just been having fun playing around with the Star section of Disney Plus now. Being able to watch Titanic on Disney Plus is just entertaining.
Oh yeah, you European asshole! You get that special we don't get that in America unless we use the VPN.
Did they censor the painting scene? Did they just stick a Disney princess in front of her body?
It's just Mickey Mouse covering nipples.
That's the thing with the Star section of Disney Plus. It also brought in a parental controls as well, so you can you can set parental locks. So
it doesn't
kids
show.
Can't access the R18 stuff.
I was gonna say
you can get it in America if you use a VPN.
I feel like there'd be an issue if they covered up her body somehow, but let Bart's penis on the Simpson movie slide.
They do. It's amazing.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
But that's good. Don't body shame people. Come on.
Yeah, come on. So
you want to see that?
No, I don't want to see it. I just don't want him to be ashamed. All right, I'm thinking of Bart.
We should advise first off before anybody goes crazy. Nikki does not want to see any PP that's in The Simpsons, especially when it involves a child, because Bart Simpson is not 18 in the show.
No, he's not, and it's not used in any sort of manner that's in that connotation. Why do you have to bring that up? Nobody was thinking that until you said it.
Somebody did. If I thought it, somebody did.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, though. The Vision's penis. This week on WandaVision, we finally saw it, guys.
You saw his wang.
Yeah.
No. But no, I was surprised that they did that, because they do censor a lot of things, especially on The Simpsons.
Right.
I'm not causing that thing, guys.
They also censored Splash, too.
Why did this turn into that?
Okay, well, I'm gonna move on to
let's talk about this. What is this John Stamos thing? The John Stamos thing?
Let's move on.
Because I noticed they had my girl Shirley from Community in there. I like her.
So that's one of those ones. Basically, John Stamos plays an NAACP C, whatever it's called. I forget the name of the league. But he's a college basketball coach who was fired from his job, and the only job he can pick up is an all-girls high school, like Catholic high school, coaching their basketball team.
Good luck.
It's like that Jason Statham.
What's the show called? Me Too about to happen? What the hell is this?
All right, so Yvette Nicole Brown, who you did comment, she is on the post, the image for it. She's the principal of the school.
And she's a very principled person who we will not objectify in any way.
I mean, when it comes to Big Shot, the way I kind of like to compare it to is it's similar to the Mighty Ducks in a way in which a disgrace thing goes into coaching at sports.
That's the other one. Mighty Ducks also got an air date, but it was separate from that report. It came out separately later. That's going to air on, I believe, March 26th is when.
Emilio Estevez is back for that, right?
Yes.
Yes, Emilio Estevez is back. So I'm going to get into it just because I made a comment. We can kind of go around and each kind of pick out a show out of it if we want. But, and listen, I know it sounds stupid, but when Disney Plus launched, I made a decision that I wanted to check out every piece of launch content just to see if it was actually worth it to sign up when it first launched. And so that meant that eventually I did get to actually watching the first season of the High School Musical show. That show, now, overall, out of 10, I'd probably give it like a 6.5.
Oh God, it's Paddington all over again.
Brilliant.
Paddington.
But it is far better than that show has any right to be. Right. And it's way better than anything Disney Channel's putting out. Like, they're not treating it like a Disney Channel show. They are treating it more seriously than that. The acting in it is better than on Disney Channel. The writing is better than Disney Channel. The songs
That's not saying much.
They are writing quality, but what I'm saying is they are trying with this. Disney Channel, they can throw out schlock every week and they don't care.
True.
They are.
Hey man, zombies too.
But you gotta understand.
Yes, always zombies.
You gotta understand, man. There's Disney Channel original movies, TV shows. You got those, and then you got High School Musical. High School Musical is on a completely different planet. Okay, High School Musical 2 alone is better than anything Disney has put out.
No, you're right. And honestly,
what about Even Stevens, guys?
Have you seen that guy dancing and singing on a golf course? Him singing, dancing about not gonna stop is great.
It's not gonna.
All right,
you can't stop him. He's a force of nature.
On any of this shit.
Okay,
I'm done trying. Who else has an
So
go ahead, Malcolm.
I actually didn't.
See, Bad Batch. Oh, I'm sorry, Malcolm.
I really don't like the High School Musical show. I tried getting into it.
Fair enough.
You seem like a rational human being.
Yeah, and I mean, I like a lot of the Disney Channel original movies. I'm sorry, but I thought a lot of them are better than the High School Musical show.
Smart House, remember Smart House? Was that what it's called?
I don't know, honestly.
It was they were in a smart house and then it came alive.
But I mean, I think it's like ultimately, I think it's smart what they're doing is with the Marvel shows, especially is space them out so they don't end up overlapping each other.
Yeah.
The number one,
because you've got like WandaVision now. Like I think there's a making of thing. Then Falcon it starts, and then I think it's going to balance out there because we're probably going to get a making of Falcon in between Falcon and whatever the next one is, like not in the order.
I was going to say, what they're doing here is it seems like they're trying to interbalance Star Wars and thing, because again, it's not confirmed as of yet, because WandaVision did change at the last minute too. But Falcon and Winter Soldier has been long-standing, reported as 6 episodes. So that'll be a 6-week run. That'll be a 6-week
and they
run,
said these episodes would be longer.
And then they go into Bad Batch. And then Bad Batch will have a run. And then they go into Loki. And they're kind of interspersing them so that they have their one big tentpole show every time.
So people don't cancel.
And then you have the other little stuff in between. Maybe, maybe the Turner and Hooch reboot isn't as bad as it might look.
Okay. So this is where I have to stop you.
Or it's fucking trash. I don't know.
This is where I have to stop you. So the thing with Disney Plus, you're right. They got that going where it's right now, and they had a problem with that the first year of Disney Plus. First year of Disney Plus, a lot of people look at that as a failure because 2 of their top 5 shows. One was The Mandalorian, and the other was The Making of The Mandalorian. So that doesn't say much about your streaming service. And those are the two top two shows. Is the making of your first show. But when it comes to like something like Paramount Plus, like another one of those streaming services, formerly CBS All Access.
If we get through enough, we'll get to it later.
Yeah.
But that's one of those things that they're failing at right now, or before, where there'd be a Star Trek show. They'd give you a 30-day trial. You could just wait until that season's over, binge the whole season of the Star Trek show, and then wait until the next Star Trek show does it and do it again. They have a problem keeping subscribers because they don't have continuous content rolling out. And that's why they had to do the whole rebrand in the first place.
Right.
Nikki?
So,
yes.
I was going to say,
Matthew.
Matt, make your comment, and then if nobody else has anything else to add, we have one thing we'll get to, and then we'll move on to the next story. So, Matt, go ahead.
I'm here for you.
So, Nikki, first off, before I give my thoughts on any of the shows, because I haven't done that
Shut up, right?
I'm not going to allow slander on the Jeff Goldblum show. You said there was basically nothing.
Oh.
There's a Jeff Goldblum
It wasn't
show.
in the top 5. It wasn't in the top 5 dudes.
Whoever didn't watch it, you missed out.
Sneakers.
It was so good.
I love
here.
Ice cream.
Time out. Do a close up on Alan first, Jeff Goldblum. He got like that was
the ice cream. Yes, ice cream.
Sneakers. Sneakers. Do the sneakers again. Sneakers. Give me sneakers. Your face was you transformed into him, Alan.
Oh my
You
god.
became Goldblum.
Oh my
yes,
god.
The raptor was chasing you.
There's a Nike
The T-Rex is behind you.
No.
There's a thing where the Grandmaster.
Yes, someone's photoshopping Alan onto Jeff Goldblum.
You know what's messed up is I once did a character in a play that Jeff Goldblum originated, and somebody said that I was just enough Goldblum to be better at the character, which I thought was great. Great compliment. I actually told him that story when they did the release for Fallen Kingdom out here. But anyway, yeah.
You were in a Jurassic Park movie, Alan?
Shut up. The world according to Jeff Goldblum was a very interesting show.
I love it.
But I don't think it was a ratings bonanza for Disney Plus.
Yeah, you know what? People... Look, it takes a while for people to get into things. Look at Shawshank Redemption. It took a little bit.
Look at Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Took some time. Oh my lord.
Shawshank, that show.
No one ever
all that.
appreciated Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Breaking Bad was another show. Then started off great ratings, and then
when Star Trek Deep
exploded at
Space
the end.
Nine was on, I was too young to appreciate it.
Game of Thrones. Anyway, to get back,
I tried.
now.
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Power through it until you get to Worf.
So
right.
Here we go. After that slander, I had to shut down Nikki when I go out. So big shot with John Stamos. Now don't care about that. I love sports. Don't care about it at all. Bad Batch finally got a release date. Needed it.
We're gonna see Rex on that
it.
for sure, right?
Can't wait. Gotta love it.
We're gonna see Rex.
So
he's gone. We can talk about WandaVision now.
He's gonna watch something real quick. Anyway,
WandaVision?
Not yet. I really enjoyed the introduction of the Bad Batch in the Clone Wars. Not my favorite arc of the series, but it was
which is an arc
interesting.
Like that was an arc that was actually out for years.
True.
Like I saw that like 10 years ago, and the only thing they really added to it, I know,
was Anakin's hair.
Anakin's hair, yes. Anakin's amazing flowing hair, and that scene with him and Padme where it shows like Obi-Wan clearly knew that they were doing it.
They were doing it.
They were doing it. I don't know what it is, but they were totally doing it.
Right.
So
But yeah,
I was gonna say
They were running across the sand. It's cool.
No,
Yes,
people sand.
I do
all right,
want to
let Matt
say.
finish his point. Let Matt finish his point.
Yes, I need to say Feige did talk about Falcon and Winter Soldier. It is going to be 6 episodes. He talked about why he did it. I didn't read about why he did it because I just simply didn't care. Just give me the show because the devil is 6.
Yeah, it's Mephisto again, guys.
6, and then it'll be completed 666. But no. So it's going to lead into, I believe, May 4th or no 7th. I believe.
May the 4th be with you.
Or sorry,
Revenge of the 5th.
There's gonna be a week between the 7th and then whatever the day in March is, the 30th or whatever. And then Bad Batch is on the 4th. Or sorry, yeah, Bad Batch is on the 4th.
You think we'll see a certain Sith Lord on that show?
A
Not
Sith
Bad Batch.
Lord?
I mean, we
don't think we're gonna see
technically
Vader?
will with Palpatine's
Yeah.
you know,
Message, yeah.
yeah. Well,
The
technically,
first
but
Galactic Empire!
yeah, but outside of that, I don't think we will. So that.
So you don't think we'll see
that's why
Vader?
it's gonna be
But
6
we know we're going to see Min Na Wen. We're going
Um,
to see Fennec Shand on
true.
that show.
We will.
When?
But she
Yeah.
is not a Jedi.
In May.
Um,
They just said.
I like that. Don't care about Turner and Hooch unless the dog is being voiced by Drake Bell, because then we can get kind of a Drake and Josh thing right there. Loki, okay, cool. You know,
Matt,
that's cool. I'm looking forward to it, but
you bring up a great point about Drake and Josh.
oh yeah,
There's a new show on NBC called Keenan. Why are we having that? Why not just have Keenan and Kel?
I don't know. Maybe Kel.
I know you have feelings on that.
Because
I do.
Kel's got a
And,
contract
you know,
with
Kel-
Nickelodeon still.
He's really busy right now. Kel is.
He's invisible.
He is starring in like 20 movies next year, directed by
Really?
Martin Scorsese. He's in one.
He's Black Superman.
He has an Adam McKay movie coming out later this year. He's in that. I think Tarantino's dropping a surprise movie. He's in
The
that.
Star Trek one. Yeah, he's the captain of the Star Trek Tarantino
He is
movie.
the captain. They
Dropping out of nowhere.
secretly directed that. So he's got a lot going on right now. He's working with Spielberg, David Fincher. They're bringing back
Okay.
Manhunter as a movie, and he's
Move on from
playing
this bit.
that character.
I love Kel. Who loves orange soda?
So before we move on,
I think it's all the shows.
I was gonna say we came into this. Now over the last couple of weeks, we have talked about WandaVision on the show. That is not one of the topics tonight because we are saving it for something else that will happen, that will debut in the next week. Matt, would you like to talk about it?
Okay, so to clarify, I think for next week, and we're gonna start doing this with all the shows and whatnot, that Disney Plus releases like the big shows. I'm not gonna do anything for Turner and Hooch or the High School, the musical, the series.
I will do it.
Spin-off.
I'll fucking do it.
Aaron will talk spoilers for season 2.
Oh, come on. No, you haven't even watched WandaVision yet.
So
You haven't even watched WandaVision yet.
I
Don't
will
front.
say, speaking of that show, okay, I didn't talk about the
Episodes are
release
shorter.
date on that. Don't care about the release date coming out. Cool, it's coming out. We all knew that. But they missed out on a golden opportunity. It should have been High School, the musical, the series. That's what it should have been. So Aaron will be doing that. But starting this Friday, we're going to be doing kind of spoiler discussions on certain Marvel shows that come out. I was more thinking for this upcoming Friday, talk about this, I guess the season finale or
The series
finale, whatever it's going to be. So first off, before I do that, you got a guy who wants to do the spoiler discussion on Fridays for High School.
Oh, wow.
Musical.
We'll talk.
You got a guy for
High
Turner and
School
Hooch and
series,
High
the
School
musical
Musical,
series.
So if you
yeah.
want to do that, Aaron, there we go. Chris and Aaron
Here,
talking about High School.
So,
Musical.
who do we have on that show on Friday? You're going to be there.
So I'm there. I
I'm
don't
going to
know
be
who
there.
else. You're going to
I'll
be
be
there. Who?
Just call
Aaron
my
can be there if he
name.
wants
I
to.
was gonna
Malcolm
say,
can be
we,
there. Alan, if
Nope.
he decides he wants to get Disney Plus back, or be a pirate. If he wants to be a pirate, so he can discuss it, then there's that too.
I technically could talk about it.
Okay, so he could talk about it.
You're a good man, Alan.
But whoever watches it, if they want to be on it, they can. I would like to keep the panel, under 6. You
Yeah.
know, just
Because
so
the
it's,
devil.
enough people.
Mephisto.
That way we don't have too many people, because
And
it's
I-
going to be an hour discussion for each one. So we're going to do that.
I was gonna say.
And I mean, we could talk about tonight's or yesterday's episode a little bit too, just like briefly, and then we
Aaron
can,
hasn't seen
a
it
minute
yet.
or two. But I mean, when Aaron does whatever, or we can go non-spoiler too. We don't have to talk spoilers.
True.
I mean, there wasn't a lot of spoilers anyway.
the only- the
There were
only
like
reason
4 revelations.
The only
in this
reason I
episode.
didn't suggest it is because there's still a lot of other shit.
True.
It was very. No, I won't say anything.
We should do like another show tomorrow night.
So,
But
basically,
yeah.
yeah.
So this upcoming Friday, we'll talk more about the series finale because I'm sure there's going to be a lot to talk about, and then we're going to
John
just do a
Krasinski.
discussion for the whole season. And then when Falcon and the Winter Soldier starts, we will be doing Falcon and the Winter Soldier spoiler discussions for each episode. Bad Batch, we're going to do it. Loki, all the Marvel shows, all the Star Wars shows, and if there's anything big that comes out, like whether it's on Disney Plus or it's on Fridays in general.
That's pretty big.
We're gonna do Big Shot. We're gonna talk about the Big Shot. Chip and Dale, that show.
Rangers.
We got our Justice League commentaries coming up still.
And
Justice League, the Signature cut.
Before we move on to the next topic, we can talk more off camera, but maybe something else we can briefly add to next week's show. I say cryptically as if this won't be easy to figure out, but someone here will have the opportunity to see the Disney Plus release Raya and the Last Dragon before it launches on Disney Plus. So I can have a review for that ready.
There we go.
Cool.
So with that, we'll go ahead and move on to the next topic. A big blockbuster that's coming out in the next month is this little movie called Godzilla vs. Kong. It's got these two guys in it. You probably don't even know them. This week, a series of interviews were released that were held back in March of 2019 while they were filming.
With Godzilla?
That have been held for 2 years because they wanted to use them for marketing. So they've all been released this week. On top of that, director Adam Wingard did an interview and made some more comments about the film. I apologize at the start. This is a bit of a long one. Bear with me, but there is a lot of information about
He's going to get cut off again, guys.
No. I handle the production better. There is a lot of information about this film, so let's put it out there and then discuss. Here we go. Alright guys, this one's going to be a bit of a longer one, so please bear with me. I'll try and get through it as quickly as humanly possible. This week, a number of plot tidbits from the upcoming Godzilla vs. Kong were revealed through a number of interviews. The first few came from interviews that were actually held in March of 2019 from the set of the film, in which producers and director Adam Wingard gave comments that were only released publicly this week to aid with marketing. The first came from producer Alex Garcia, who spoke about a new element being introduced in the film in the form of Apex. Garcia revealed that Apex will serve as a villainous opposite to Monarch from the previous films. Apex will be portrayed as, quote, an extreme version of companies like Amazon and Apple. Members of the cast who were previously announced in the film but whose roles were not revealed were connected to Apex by Garcia as well, including Demian Bashir's Walter Simmons, who will be the CEO's corporation, Shun Oguri's Ren Serizawa, who is actually the son of Ken Watanabe's character Ishiro Serizawa, and Brian Tyree Henry's Bernie, who is a disgruntled former employee of the company. Garcia also revealed that Millie Bobby Brown's role in the film, which was shown briefly in the trailer, will be to work with Julian Dennison's Josh and Brian Henry's Bernie to investigate Apex and get to the bottom of potential experiments. Following up on these comments, director Adam Wingard made some more comments around the same time, talking about King Ghidorah, the antagonist of King of the Monsters, saying that he would, quote, kind of haunt the movie. While being sure not to give too much away, Wingard stated that the end credit scene from the previous film, showing a Mothra egg being in existence, and the second one showing Charles Dance's Alan Jonah purchasing one of King Ghidorah's severed heads, will both come back into play in this film. While Charles Dance is not announced to return for the film as of now, maybe other people, like Apex, will be working with the severed head, which was actually spotted on set as a prop while reporters visited. Keeping on Adam Wingard, the director did an interview much more recently with Cinema Blend in which he spoke on the film. Wingard began by comparing the film to Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and that it's two titans of film taking each other on. However, he feels his film has an automatic advantage compared to BVS, as both Kong and Godzilla have had films to introduce themselves. He personally felt that one of BVS's biggest failures was that it tried to introduce a new Batman into a film universe where you had to also believe he could take on Superman while being on the heels of Christian Bale's Batman. He also discussed the specific portrayals of Kong and Godzilla in the film, saying that he wanted to keep continuity in the franchise. He said that Legendary were great collaborators and left the door open for him to interpret and change the characters as he felt fit, but that he chose to instead work with and stick with the precedents set by Gareth Edwards, Michael Dougherty, and Jordan Vogt Roberts in the previous films. He also spoke on the less than stellar reaction to Dougherty's King of the Monsters, with it being mixed amongst both critics and fans, with some loving it and some hating it. Wingard said that he tried not to let reception affect him, as he had always planned on approaching his film differently than Doherty. He continued saying that while he did like the film personally, each director was allowed to bring their own vibe and vision to their film, and that people's reactions to any of the previous films were not something he focused on. He also said that Legendary treats this as a weird, separated franchise. Each film is a continuation, but also its own entity. Some of the major criticisms launched at King of the Monsters include its overall dark tone and poor lighting during action sequences, as well as the writing and handling of its human characters. Wingard says a lot of those were deliberate choices made by Doherty that just didn't pan out with the audiences, and that his film was always going to be naturally different. All of these comments and plot points will hopefully come to fruition within the best way when Godzilla King of the Monsters releases on March 26th, both in theaters and on HBO Max.
I don't think the guy should be comparing like his movies talking about failures of Batman versus Superman. Like that's a movie that like is on HBO Max that has like Justice League Snyder Cut coming out, and that's probably gonna be a better movie than Godzilla versus Kong. I mean, that's a movie I'm looking forward to. I want to see that on the big screen, but I don't think it's gonna be as good as Batman versus Superman, because the last movie that came out, it's one of the few movies I've ever seen in my life that I actually fell asleep during.
So I actually think... Oh,
sorry, I had to shave my beard off because I grew a whole beard during that damn long-ass story. Eric, I love you, but good God almighty. Yo, Kong has something to say, too. He is very excited for this movie to finally come out.
Does he have Stormbreaker?
And I think, yes. And I think Mecha King Ghidorah is going to be the surprise. I think that's what we're going to see. They've already talked about Mecha Godzilla going to be in it, so I think there'll be Mecha Godzilla and possibly Mecha King Ghidorah. Woo!
But yeah, what I was about to say is, like, as
You're
someone
offended.
who has, well, I mean, I'm one of those ones that didn't completely hate Batman v Superman. I think the Ultimate Edition is better. I didn't hate the theatrical version either.
Love it.
I admit it was not really a good movie, but what I really hope is Godzilla and Kong keep fighting, and they find out their mum's name's Martha, and then they team up to fight.
Yes! Why'd you say that name?
Wow. That was good. That was good, Alan.
I do.
You know.
I do want to say, Nikki, I think you're right. I don't think this movie can be as good as Batman v Superman. I think it's going to be better than Batman v Superman, because Batman v Superman is okay. It's okay. Man of Steel is better for sure. BVS is okay.
I agree.
You know, it's okay.
I agree. Man of Steel is better. No, Man of Steel is a masterpiece.
It's not a masterpiece.
Batman vs Superman is a good movie.
Here's the breaks.
It's okay. There's good stuff in it, but
the tornado scene in Man of Steel is the only thing. I think the heart attack works better than the tornado because it symbolizes something that Superman cannot save someone from.
Exactly.
So Batman v Superman is like taking different like types of Play-Doh and just smashing it together at the very end, because it just took too much. It's like they went with so many different storylines in the end.
But that's what people love about The Mandalorian.
That's the Mandalorian didn't do that.
You went for it. No, they dumped the action figure
Superman.
Yeah, but they did.
To relate it back, to bring it full circle, Batman vs Superman was the Peter Jackson's King Kong. It was somebody going, look at my toys. Look what I can do. Oh, let's not have one dinosaur. Let's have three.
Here's the thing, though.
Let's do
I love that movie
Let's make it 4 hours long. Oh,
I love that movie too, though.
Like,
I love both of those
Batman,
movies.
Here's Superman.
You can't
here's Wonder Woman.
love-
Oh yeah, here's some flash drives showing the other Justice
Why are
League.
you complaining about Wonder Woman?
Oh, here's
Love
this
King
Superman's
Kong.
dead
More.
now.
More.
Not really.
More. Always more.
No more.
No.
Less is more.
More.
There are so many things that happen in just the world history in general where more is just not good.
I really agree with that.
Look at World War II.
I can confirm there is a scene where Millie Bobby Brown runs out of a burning, looks like a bunker, because I watched them film that where I work. So I do know that's the.
She destroyed Fenway Park, and I actually went to Fenway Park several times.
Here's the thing.
She did destroy Fenway Park.
Not Kong.
Well,
King of the Monsters.
Yes.
But
is Vera Farmiga going to be in this?
Alan
Oh my god, I hated her so much.
Aside,
I hated Vera Farmiga in that movie. Like, it was so bad.
but the thing, I mean, I'm kind of worried because I feel like, based on everything Aaron said that people have been saying in interviews, I know a lot of this, what this movie is going to be about, and I don't like it because I haven't seen the first two Godzillas yet. So, but it's all going to be one of those ones that I'm going to go into this thing. But they've said this in interviews or is what's in the trailers. Like, there's not really much I didn't know about this movie already.
Yeah.
So Malcolm, I need you to do something, or anybody. This is a challenge for everybody. Get Devin to care about this movie. I could not get him to care about this movie at all.
I don't think it's possible.
Like,
Looks like he's playing with a Rubik's Cube. What's he doing over there?
What does Devin like?
Yes, what does he
Devin,
like?
what do you like? You like Marvel stuff? You like DC stuff? He likes the Mission Impossibles.
Hey, Mission Impossible.
Look, Tom Cruise jumps off of a building in Mission Impossible. Kong jumps off of that aircraft.
Jumps off the thing. Yeah, right.
Jumps off. It's Die Hard like, you know. So there's that.
I don't know how you can't be sold on this movie after that punch.
I will say the Kong design I love.
Great.
He's very big.
I think he looks amazing. He looks really, really cool. He can be. Why doesn't matter.
What do you think the Stormbreaker axe made out of Godzilla's back thing?
That's awesome.
I like it.
Great.
This movie,
it's so Stormbreaker though. Like they just saw Stormbreaker. Like, let's give Kong a Stormbreaker.
Then him doing Apple Project X style to that little girl, or what he said, home, or whatever. Come on now. I'd rather him make an axe and beat Godzilla than him sign language to a girl that's this tall to him.
Right.
So will he stand next to the Empire State Building at all?
Yes. No, so what this movie will do, or what this movie has going for it that like a BVS didn't have going for it, is BVS had to build up to something. It had to build up to a Justice League movie. This movie doesn't have to build up to anything, so it can go balls out, crazy.
Honestly,
there's no Thanos-like character. You're
exactly right. You're exactly right, because they already went balls out with the last one. They went balls out with bringing Mothra, King Ghidorah, Rodan, all those in the last one. So yeah, there really is no. They're actually taking a step backwards with just having two monsters, which is why I think Mecha Godzilla or Mecha King Ghidorah are going to be in it. Because
so I was going to say that actually is a viable theory. There was even more Kong information. Like I had to make cuts to get that video down to like 4 minutes. But one of the there was a more descriptive version. Like I just said, they did see a prop of Ghidorah's head when they were visiting. There is a more descriptive outlook of what they saw, and it was wired in and connected to a computer. So that is they're clearly looking for something. They are reading and looking for something out of King Ghidorah.
Oh my god! How is this possible, guys?
Hey, it's possible.
Maddie has made his triumphant return to After Dark.
But I'm in response to Chris's comment about like when you told me not to watch the last two Godzillas. That's one of my gripes that I really hate. I really hate when people in reviews who don't like a movie go, "Oh, you don't bother watching this because I didn't like it." It's one of those.
I said watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to watch it because who knows?
I want to watch it again.
Movies, it might be in my wheelhouse of movies I might enjoy.
I was going to say.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Matty. Go.
I actually like both Godzilla movies. Personally, I like the fact that the first one, you don't really see Godzilla. It's more of them following Aaron Taylor Johnson's journey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the incest
Godzilla's kind of a background character for most of the movie, which is what I really like.
I'm going to show you my Godzilla love.
The akin comparison that I like my comparison is I like that Gareth Edwards took the Jaws approach to the first one, where
I like
you see him, the more intensity builds towards when you finally get the reveal.
And you're glued to it because you don't see him as much because your eyes are glued to the screen. Like, okay, we got to get a glimpse of Godzilla. Where is he? He's gonna pop up any second now.
And
I didn't feel that at all in the second one.
I know one of the other things that Godzilla fans backlashed against with the first one was, and I've only seen it the one time, so I don't remember all the details, but I know the two creatures that he fought in it were original creations for that film. They were not previous kaiju. I actually like that they made that choice because you get to see him stomp over these two nothings that nobody has to care about. And in my opinion, if the sequel had been done better, then you could have really gotten the impact of, okay, now he has to fight these creatures that we know and he's having a harder time. And I think that makes the impact of it better. And I will say, in my opinion, I wasn't a fan of King of the Monsters. I thought the concept of the fighting was one of the better things they did. I just wish it had been better lit. I don't know why every fight needed to take place in a pitch dark room, but it did.
Or the rain or underwater,
or in yellow dust or whatever the hell that was.
Yeah, the yellow dust really weird is where I checked out.
I will say though, King Ghidorah looked amazing. The design of King Ghidorah and Rodan looked fantastic. Now, as somebody who is a long-term Godzilla fan, I wanted the 2014 Godzilla to be reminiscent of the original Japanese film. Because the original Japanese film is a very, very sad, tragic film. And I wanted that to happen in 2014. The fact that they made Godzilla a good guy at the end of the movie, I really was not down with that.
You killed Bryan Cranston.
Well, not really. Which really lowered my expectations. It lowered my expectations going into King of the Monsters, where I actually just had fun with King of the Monsters because I don't care about any of this really. I just want to see King Ghidorah and Rodan, and I want to see them look amazing. And they did. Right. Yes, they cut away from the fights too much. They intercut the human reaction, and nobody gave a crap about any of those human characters at all. Oh my God,
I hated them.
But I thought the first Rodan scene is beautiful. It's really, really good. It's actually very reminiscent of the original Rodan. I love the music, the score of King of the Monsters. It's fantastic. They brought in all the monsters themes, and it was really, really good. And all the original music for the film was really amazing too. So for this one, I have no expectations, just have fun, and hopefully get a Mecha Godzilla in there, and hopefully he looks cool. That's it. I will say the toys for these films suck. The Kong versus Godzilla toys are trash.
Because that's the thing. Even Godzilla 2000 had some really good toys.
They had some good toys.
As bad of a movie was, those toys were way better than the movie because I had all those toys.
See, I must have saw that Godzilla at the perfect time because I loved it. Like, it's one of those that from my childhood, because we went to the Dollar Theater to see it. We went to the Dollar Theater and saw it. Hey, shut up, Nikki. Shut up. Just because you weren't old enough to go to a Dollar Theater or even know what a Dollar Theater is.
Right.
Anyways,
you're right. That movie was rated too high for me to see at that time.
So it was fun. And I agree. I can see where people get kind of hurt by Godzilla is not a main character in the first one, and then the second one was too dark. But I think they're great, just kaiju movies. Like, I love big monsters just wrecking house, and that's the one thing about Godzilla versus Kong that I'm looking forward to. We've got two kaijus going toe to toe,
and that punch. Like, Godzilla can punch. Kong can punch. Like when he punched him, and then in the backswing, he hits the plane. It blows up. That's an amazing punch.
It's not backswing; it's follow through.
Follow through, whatever.
Devin cared about something. Get your violent terminology correct.
Okay, we'll analyze the fight of Godzilla versus Kong and see it.
Best wrestling match yet.
So what
we could talk about The Rock in 7 of 9 again, but you know how I feel about that.
All right, let me get something in here.
I haven't drank enough to get to that yet.
All right, so what I want to get in before we move on, since I was gone for a sec when we first came back from it. I'm actually kind of the opposite of Malcolm. The comments that I'm hearing actually make me more excited for this film. Simply because, like one of the things that they talked about, where it's like when they brought up the critical reception of King of the Monsters, and he just goes, it didn't affect me because we were already making a different film. Like, it doesn't matter. I like that approach where it's like, look, don't focus on what came before. Do your own thing with each film, and where you want to keep your continuity, keep it, which I do like. Now, one of the things that excites me about this film is the way that they had the writers handle this, because Godzilla King of the Monsters was written by Michael Dougherty and Zach Shields. And my problem with that is I thought the concept for the film was really good, but I thought in terms of individual characters and things like that is where they fell apart. For King of the Monsters, Wingard had Shields and Dougherty write the story for the film. So it is continuity connected. However, the script is handled by Max Borenstein, whose biggest contributions were to the original Godzilla 2014 and Kong Skull Island, both of which I thought had way better written characters. Terry Rossio, who, among other films, wrote the first Shrek film and the Pirates of the Caribbean films, which I thought had great characters. And Eric Pearson, who's only a name that people are starting to recognize recently, but he's actually been a background script doctor for Marvel for ages. He had a head writing credit on Thor Ragnarok, but he'd done uncredited character rewrites on Ant-Man, Infinity War, Endgame, Homecoming, and Pokemon Detective Pikachu, and he's the writer of Black Widow. So he's been around for
and Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
That's the one outlier from Marvel.
Yeah.
So I actually have a lot more faith in this film because it's a different director, a different set of screenplay writers, taking a story that was probably decent on a conceptual level and writing better characters around it, and going in a totally different direction. Like, I like the look of the trailer simply because it is different. If you guys haven't seen, earlier on the channel, I did a reaction to the 40-second clip that came out where it's titled Godzilla Meets Kong, and it's just an extension of a scene that we saw in the trailer. But one of the things I love about it, and I comment on it, is bright colors. It's a bright sunset sky. You know, Godzilla's tail goes up, comes down, and takes out 3 airplanes and 2 whole cruiser ships, and you can actually see it. It's not covered in darkness. You know, what looks to be the final action scene of the film, just based off the way it's presented in the trailer, is in a bright fucking neon city. Like, I love the way they're using color. I love that you can see what's happening. Even his atomic breath in the last film, I think that's what it's called, his atomic breath had kind of a nullified blue look where it's like, okay, well, this is brighter by comparison, but it's really dulled out, whereas here it is bright, vibrant, it stands out when it's happening. I love all of that. So to me, I like that they're not paying attention to the previous films. It's just, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go forth and hope that we make the best film possible. And
it's like the X-Men continuities.
I think Adam Wingard is a very solid director. I know people weren't biggest fans of his last 2 films, but I don't think that's all completely on him. I think Death Note was destined to fail, and I don't think Blair Witch needed a sequel. So, but if you go before that, War Next and The Guest are brilliant films. So I think he's got a real knack for it, and I'm personally looking forward to it.
So I do want to kind of address one of Chris's comments, or I'll pull it up, talking about the characters and whatnot, where, you know,
which is why I talked about the writers.
So I do agree with you. I think the writers are going to improve the characters because, look, I know there's people that love Kong or King of the Monsters. I know there's people that love it and whatnot. I'm not one of those people. I don't flat out hate the movie, but I'll tell you, that was my birthday movie. I was excited, went to go see it, was bored out of my mind. And it was because of the characters, like the human characters. The human characters are going to be in this movie, obviously, and they're going to be featured a pretty good amount. The human characters, and I would assume most monster movies, if not all, are very important to the story as far so you can kind of understand what's going on. You get their perspective and whatnot. But, you know, I guess what separates the good ones from the bad ones is, are they well written? So yeah, I do agree. Those writers that you were mentioning, they're going to improve that. Sorry, Chris, you're going to have a good amount of scenes with Millie Bobby Brown. You're going to have, you know, her mama in the movie.
Well, actually,
is Vera Farmiga in this one?
So people seem to forget Vera Farmiga was killed at the end of the last
she died. Yeah,
she was.
I was glad because I hated her.
I forgot about it. Again, I've done all the research, so I can actually answer this question.
Okay.
What if they put her brain in Mecha King Ghidorah?
So is Rebecca Hall the new Vera Farmiga?
Damn it. Only 3 characters are returning from King of the Monsters. Millie Bobby Brown is returning, and then they're also bringing back Kyle Chandler, and I believe Zhang Jiai. But they are both in reduced
The Moffat
roles
twins.
compared to.
But Bradley Whitford isn't in it?
No.
Oh,
God.
come on.
Thank God.
So, you know, Millie Bobby Brown's character could be flashbacks too. Like it may not be present, with continuity.
So that was one of the things. There was a 4-minute video of all sorts of story related to this. She is an active plot point thread in this film. It's not a flashback. Basically, to paraphrase it, her role in this is, and again, there's more stuff I cut out of that video because it could have been way
Storm Chaser, but kaiju.
But essentially, she in the film doesn't understand why Godzilla is become the villain all of a sudden. Because again, in the last film, she saw the good in Godzilla. So her story is she works with Julian Dennison's character, the kid from Deadpool 2, and she works with Brian Tyree Henry's character.
That's the kid.
Let go from a company that's being introduced in the film. Basically, there's a new bad version of Monarch that they're investigating the secrets of because they think they've been doing experiments or something.
That's what I don't like. Bad version of Monarch, because Monarch were kind of douche too.
Was pretty bad. They were pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean,
they wanted to kill the world.
One of the little bits that I said it and I rushed over, but I think it actually is an interesting plot point. Is one of the major figures representing Apex, the new company in this film, is a character that's playing the son of Ken Watanabe's character, who obviously, if you've seen King of the Monsters, he was killed at the behest of doing something for Monarch. So I think it actually is an interesting point that this guy is now working for a competitor in this film.
I just don't care about that stuff. I want to see them fight. Like Ken Watanabe said, let them fight.
We need the people in the movie,
that doesn't mean
though.
the human stuff can't be good, because if it's just 2 hours of monsters hitting each other, it's not a film. And that's going to be worse.
I disagree. I completely disagree with that. Me and Devin have this great idea for Aquaman versus Black Adam, and there's just no script. They're just fighting. Like, why are they fighting? It doesn't matter. The movie starts, they're fighting. The movie ends, one of them's dead.
Look, the movie's going to be stupid, but it doesn't need to be like...
It's going to be stupid.
There's got to be something.
College classes, I highly disagree with you, but...
Okay.
I got to run, but I just wanted to say, love y'all. Y'all are great. Malcolm, it's good to have you for a while. Matty G, it's good to see you up and moving around. Looking good. I'll see y'all later.
Yeah. So, but before we move into it, he hopped in the middle of a story, but I do want to address it. Welcome back, Matt. Happy New Year. Believe it or not, Happy New Year. Welcome back, man. Good to have you back on the panel. Just want to call it out before we move on, not just shuffle you back in like you're nothing. Welcome back, man.
I can't find the hey.
No worries, guys. I want to point out something that Chris brought up. It sounds like Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim is great. It is got the perfect. No, the first one, not the second.
Yeah, the first.
We're not talking
first
about
is
the
better
second
than the
one.
second one. It's better.
But what's great about Pacific Rim is you had the kaiju fights and everything, but you also had the drama of the humans and the way they interweaved it. So if they can actually copy that, it's a win. And Pacific Rim 2 sucks.
Pacific Rim 2 sucks because it looks horrible and the human stuff is horrible.
I do have to say, I left it out on purpose. The one other film that the writer I referenced, Eric Pearson, who's done a lot of uncredited character rewrites, the only film I left out was Pacific Rim Uprising.
You're trying to protect his reputation.
But to be fair, that's one bad film versus how many good films.
Right.
And it's not just the character writing. It's not the character writing that's the bad part about Pacific Rim.
Like, that movie's bad on a fundamental level.
Yeah, that movie's just bad.
Yeah. So, Malcolm, before we move on, you had your hand up.
Well, I mean, the other one I was going to sort of reference about the human stuff and all that was, as earlier Chris said something about the Transformers franchise. Well, on the most part, like for the first few, it didn't work for the human stuff, but I felt Bumblebee is one that the character stuff really worked in conjunction with the Transformers stuff.
The character stuff in the Transformers films isn't the reason they're bad. They're just bad films conceptually. Like,
I bet you.
I like them.
I like first ones.
I think they're great.
To be fair, Nikki, you just admitted you would like a film with mindless violence for 2+ hours.
Oh, I know the Transformers movies are terrible, but I just love Stanley Tucci yelling mindlessly while a Transformer attacks the city. I love that.
Stanley
Talking about-
Tucci playing
I
Merlin.
think Transformers
was
5 is one of the
best.
better ones, and people hate that one. I'm like, this is kind of cool.
I hate that movie, but I'll tell you what, seeing Stanley Tucci as Merlin in the beginning was so bad.
That's what I
but it
said.
was so fun.
They should just bring Stanley Tucci back every single movie playing a different character.
They
We
have
love
Anthony
the two
Hopkins, who just
Stanley
did not
Tucci.
care. He just like, yeah, I'll take the money, and he's just having the time of his life. Look, I can't blame him. He's just he doesn't care. He's just doing it to have fun, and I respect that. But the first movie is good. I like the first
one's
movie,
fine.
and
first
the
one
third
wasn't
movie is not that great. But it's especially when you have Chicago being attacked. Not that I don't like Chicago because I'm my sports teams outside of NFL there.
That's an awesome
It was a
sequence,
lot
though.
of fun. I enjoyed that final thing.
And they have those pictures of Dempsey with the race cars. Those are real pictures that they used for the movie. He's an actual race car driver.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So
And they actually made the real cars too.
No, he's
and
cool.
so with that, I'm going to put a plug on that. We'll go ahead and move into the next topic, which is this week, Marvel. Thank God for my sanity, not as much as other weeks, but Marvel got in the news game this week as well, and everybody freaked out about it. Let's talk about it.
Did they?
This week, the stars of the upcoming, as I've been calling it, Spider-Man Home Pun got in the marketing game. Through their Instagram accounts, stars Tom Holland, Jacob Batalon, and Zendaya each posted a still from the upcoming film alongside an image with the official title. The only problem is the titles were different. Holland's image came with the title Spider-Man Phone Home, which set the internet ablaze in honestly a bad way, with many criticizing the title compared to the fan guesses we've seen over the last few months. Shortly after, Jacob Batalon followed up with a very similar post, with his title being Spider-Man Home Wrecker. This just confused fans, and by the time Zendaya posted her title, Spider-Man Home Slice, fans realized they'd been trolled. However, the fans were paid off for their patience when Wednesday afternoon Holland once again posted, this time with the official title of the film, Spider-Man No Way Home. And with the end of this title saga, I say a difficult rest in peace to my official guess of the title, Spider-Man Home Pun, with a few seconds of silence. That said, Spider-Man No Way Home is set to release on December 17th, 2021, as it says, only in theaters. This week, critics were given an extended 15-minute look at the first episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier in the form of 2 extended scenes. Off of the descriptions we got and the reactions through Twitter, the first was an action scene involving the Falcon chasing down something. The scene was described, though, as some of the best gritty action we've seen since The Winter Soldier, and is seen as the closest to rated R the MCU has come. The other scene was an extended dramatic scene focusing on Bucky in a therapy session. No details have been released about the contents of the scene, but particularly the acting from Sebastian Stan was praised by critics. We'll get to see what they enjoyed and more in just a few short weeks. While critics got scenes, the fans got a new TV spot that included one particular shot that got fans talking. The spot showed mostly footage we've seen before, but one shot in particular showed Anthony Mackie's Falcon staring down solemnly at Cap's shield in an unknown room. The Marvel theory mill is crazier than ever thanks to WandaVision, and it's spinning around again due to this shot. Many people seem to believe that this indicates that Captain America may pass away during the events of the show. While nothing is confirmed, this would be huge for it if it's true. Another major shot that's sending people down the rabbit hole is a shot of Wyatt Russell's John Walker, the government's replacement for Captain America, kneeling in a foreign warehouse. The shot has led fans to believe that Walker could be getting into the show's action in a bigger way than previously indicated, and maybe even going down a darker path. So far, Walker has only been shown in one major shot as a mascot at a football game. So it'll be interesting to see what more he does when the show starts airing on March 19th, 2021, only on.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of implied with Wyatt Russell, that like we just see another guy other than the guy that Cap gave the shield to being Captain America. We're obviously not gonna like that guy at first. They'll probably be like, oh, he's a dick, but oh no, we like him, and then oh no, he's evil.
But yeah, I mean, the Spider-Man home punch, like when I saw started seeing them, it's like this has got to be leading up to something. There's no way they're just randomly doing this just for the fun of it. And the fun part about all that was on all their comments, like Zendaya had commented on Tom Holland's and Jacobs. That
no, it was very well thought out. Like.
Yeah, and especially with the video officially announcing it, because you had the video like all three of them going, it's like, oh, they gave us another fake title again, like it's like they don't trust us. Like, when have we ever spoiled things before?
I like that they're doing like viral marketing like this. I just don't think this was just for me with the Spider-Man thing. I didn't think it was that funny. Wait, as soon as I saw this online, I was like, oh, okay. I kind of just rolled my eyes at it. So, like, okay, I'll see the movie when it comes out.
I actually thought the timing of it was really well done as well because, and this is a detail that's kind of been lost, but Holland, I believe it was Fallon. Holland was on Fallon that night, and Kimmel.
Sure, wasn't Kimmel?
Holland was on Kimmel.
Yeah, Kimmel. Fallon.
Kimmel has been known because he works for Disney to announce a lot of Marvel stuff, so it seemed like the perfect time to do it. They did not announce anything on the show, if I'm aware. I don't even think they talked about the title. They just kind of avoided it, and then the video came out the next day.
So Captain Rambo too.
This image because I thought this was the funniest thing out of all the marketing. This shot here, where they wrote a bunch of the theory names that people had come up with on the board and found reasons to shit on them, which I think is hilarious.
I did like that part.
So we have Far From Home.
Far From Home, we did this already.
Home Alone, copyright issues. They crossed out Welcome Home. Crossed out Home Run. They have.
Everybody's pointing out the hexagons in that, though. Like, look at all the hexagons, people. The hexagons. The hex.
Maybe.
I mean, there's definitely
can't find home.
No, I know it's nothing. People are saying that though.
Work from home.
That was my favorite.
Stay at home. Stop.
I think that's wanna go home.
Wanna go home is just below it.
Home Alone.
No way.
I don't even like the title they have. Like, why do we have to have home in the title?
Because they started it and they kept it going, so you got to finish.
Well, no, it's also due to the fact of the end of Far From Home because of the whole Jake Gyllenhaal. He's Peter Parker. Well, he couldn't go home.
You could have called it anything. You could have called it Spider-Man on the Run, Spider-Man Indispensable, Spider-Man Unavailable. The home thing. No, I get it. I just don't understand why they start that. It's just weird to me.
So here we go.
Because
this is the title, Spider-Man No Way Home. That is our official logo. What are the thoughts on the actual title? Now that we know what it is, what are the thoughts on it?
Yeah, so this is one that as I was talking to my brother about this, is like, it's interesting. It kind of imply that maybe he gets trapped in the multiverse as opposed to like the multiverse going out, but somehow Tom Holland gets trapped in the multiverse, traveling and finding his way home that way. There's a multitude of theories in that. But yeah.
So I think the title potentially is about two things. The first is with No Way Home being about him, obviously everybody knowing who he is. So there's no way home, because if he goes home, then Aunt May could be at risk or whatever. So maybe there's something like that. And I think the other one, which I feel is the more likely reason, is multiverse.
Brace yourself, Aaron.
This leading to Doctor Strange. And this may not be about the MCU Spider-Man for No Way Home, but the Tobey and Andrew Garfield, because like I said, I think this will lead, or that I think they'll somewhat appear, whether it's for a couple minutes or whatever, in Doctor Strange getting back to their home.
Okay, let me ask you this. So do you
they'll only be in a Sony movie. That's the big
multiverse.
Okay, time out. Do you believe that this is opening basically a Spider-Verse movie, more or less, or a Spider-Verse franchise, more or less?
I don't think a Spider-Verse franchise, because I don't think you're gonna get like the Spider-Gwens and the noir Spider-Man. I think.
Well, what's funny is I think it's more Spider-Gwen was actually rumored.
She's rumored, And if you look closely at the end, I believe it's at the end of Endgame. I could be wrong, but it is at the end of Endgame when the two of them come together and hug. If you actually look closely, the girl walking by actually has Gwen's skirt on. If you look closely, she actually has the webbed skirt that Spider-Gwen wears.
That's probably just an extra that they told to wear unbranded clothes.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Nikki.
No, I'm telling you, that's what it was, because they don't really costume extras like that. They just say like, don't wear any logos or anything like that.
This is a whole new level of headache. All right.
Yeah, it is.
I'd lean to agree with Matty on Spider-Gwen. If they have already introduced a Gwen Stacy in an earlier movie, which they haven't. So, I mean, it's one of those, I don't think they're going to throw in a Spider-Gwen and go, oh, look, Gwen Stacy's been here all this time. So, there's that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's one of those ones that, with the MCU one, I think Tom Holland's confirmed that this is his last movie on the contract. So unless they redo that deal and they keep Spider-Man in the MCU, who I don't know, but this could be the way that gives him an out, and then without killing him off, and then that way, if they make a deal to bring him back, then they can bring him back somehow. Easily.
Spider-Man, we found a way home.
Yeah, because if you're dead, you can't go home.
Like I think we're gonna get another Spider-Man with Tom Holland, but it will be a little bit. Yeah. I do think he's gonna take a break for a while because he has been in a ton of stuff. So I think he's just gonna take a break from acting in general, and then he'll get back into it in about a year. So I mean, they could keep the plans going. Right. But no, and plus Tom Holland has said he wants to play Spider-Man until Sony and Marvel won't have him, play Spider-Man anymore. So he
until
can
they
come
stop
back.
paying him.
Right. And they could do a Spider-Man 4 when they were originally planning on still, because I would give them a year to kind of take a break from everything too.
Obviously
Spider-Man 4, the Christopher piece.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Nuclear Man.
Contracts are the big difficulty with this, but Feige has even made comments in the past stating that if it's something that could be agreed upon and it's something that Holland would want to do, he'd be more than happy to have him continue to stay on into adulthood and do that real transition from high school
to adulthood. The man's 25 years old.
Well, he's playing an 18-year-old, so what can I say? He also looks about 16, so
it happens.
So again, if contracts can be figured out, I think if Sony wants to make money, they will figure it out, because God forbid they're not making money on anything else. Men in Black, anybody? So, I completely.
I don't read too much into titles, to be honest. I don't like the whole entire home thing. I kind of just rolled my eyes at it. I'm more excited about like the confirmed casting. Those pictures kind of got me going, because some of them looks like they may be in the Sanctum Sanctorum. Look at the background shot. It looks very sanctum-y. They could be looking. I think that one where they're all looking up. I think they're looking up at Doctor Strange, and he has that classic pose in the window where like they see him coming down, floating down with the cloak of levitation. That's more what I'm excited about, is the castings for this, because I want to see Doctor Strange as Spider-Man. I can't wait to see Alfred Molina as Doc Ock again, if that is something that we're getting. Jamie Foxx as an actual good version of Electro. This is the stuff I get excited about. The viral marketing that they did, that stuff, like the cutesy stuff they did with the 3 actors, I didn't think it was funny. That board of Easter eggs that people picked apart over and over again, it just, I kind of rolled my eyes at it, because it was a reveal without a reveal. Like, if it was a trailer, I would have been a little bit more excited about it. If it was a couple more images, maybe like a Vanity Fair spread, one of those that we have seen in the past, got more information on like costumes and stuff, get like just full set images. But this didn't have me any more excited than I already was. It kind of honestly tempered my excitement a little bit, just because I just want to see it at this point.
Because let's not beat around. Hold on, Nikki. Do you know why I didn't raise your excitement? Because Snyder Cut comes out in 20 days. Let's not bullshit.
I don't even care anymore. Like I'll be excited for it when I watch it, but like there was a Superman show that came out this week, and I didn't realize it until the day after it came out. No, it's not about the Snyder Cut. I just don't care about anything anymore.
I heard a radio ad.
That's what it is at this point for me. I'm like Wanda last week. It's all pointless.
Thank you for saying that, Nikki.
Oh no! I'm excited about it. It's just time is irrelevant at this point. Like 20 days, that seems like 1,000 years from now. So it's just like I'll be a completely different person in 20-something days. I'm still on today. Like it's I hate it's horrible.
It's officially 20 days from today. Just pointing that out.
But on the like notes on what Nikki was saying about the images. Another rumor that I have heard about the images was people were comparing it to Agatha's house in WandaVision as well. I can kind of see that.
That's where they're going.
Those are going to be very self.
I don't think that's where it's going. I'm just saying I can. Now that I mentioned it, does. I can see the similarities.
Right.
But I would like to. I would like to find out. I would like Kevin to explain why he's gone with home titles in the Spider-Man movies specifically, because it is a really interesting sort of thing to do. And I mean, clearly he did it for a reason.
Because like he was home with Marvel, I think with Homecoming, that's what it was.
Yeah.
But then the second one is where they set the precedent for it. Like it's.
Yeah, well, that's what I was meaning. I mean, obviously
like
the first one, it's because Spider-Man's coming home. But it's the reasoning for putting home in the other two is kind of what I'm getting at, because they didn't have to do it like
There's
that.
There's no reason to do it. Yeah.
Right.
They didn't. I don't care. I think a title's a title. I think it's a cool little gimmick. Like
it helps for the DVD box set.
I think it's more creative than like. When people were originally thinking what could the title be, and it was like, well, they've already done Spider-Man and they already did the Amazing Spider-Man, so is
Spectacular
it
Spider-Man,
or
that's why I don't care about
Extreme Spider-Man? It's like, no, okay, I like this. It's more fucking original than that.
Like Rogue One: A Star Wars Story is a terrible title. Great movie.
Right.
Talking about grown-worthy titles is, I want to know what kind of pun they're going to add for the next Die Hard movie, because. A good adult Die Hard is a really bad.
You see that with that, the title accurately reflects the movie that you're probably gonna get.
Well, if this is the final Die Hard movie they do, if they do another one, just call it Die Hardest.
I'm about to die hard.
Die hard, stay dead.
Anybody else?
The final Die Hard.
Doesn't Die Hard.
Or if it's the rumored prequel, Die Hard: Before the First Death.
Died hard.
I mean, they can just do the classic Die Hard, the beginning.
The Die Hard.
Or they
go
do the Halloween
before
thing where they've
we
had
Die
3 or
Hard.
4 just Halloween. Just call it
Die versus
Hard
Hard.
for no reason. Yeah. Or do the Predator thing. Call
The
it
first
the
Die Hard.
The Die Hard, yeah, that's it.
The Die Hard. Just
The
do
Die
that
Hard.
like the Suicide.
The first Die
Die Hard.
Jacob, how's it going, man? That's
pre
not
Die Hard.
I don't know if you're just here to look at us or how's it going. You look like cold as shit. You alright?
Are you in a football game?
No, I am outside walking in snow.
Ah.
No, I just got done watching Jeepers Creepers 3, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to hop on here for a little bit while I'm walking.
So
Jeepers Creepers 3, name one actor in that movie. Who's in that movie?
I could not tell you anyone that's in it. It's seriously the worst of the 3. That's not a hard bar, though. But it legitimately has some of the coolest shots. Dude with a Gatling gun facing down the creeper in slow-mo.
Sounds like
Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Axe to the face. Yeah. And then, this isn't really spoilering, but right towards the end, I'm like, it'd be funny if they tied this in to some of the other ones. And sure enough, it ends with the guy getting on a bus for their varsity football game. And then it's a voiceover of a lady. And it was the bus that the creeper attacked in Jeepers Creepers 2. So it was a nice, fun little Easter egg.
So it's a prequel?
Still
My
still a
God.
crappy movie, but well, technically not, because it doesn't go before the first one, but it does go right before the second one.
So it's a midquel. Okay.
Yes.
So
And
Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
That dumb.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's dumb. All right. So.
Well, actually, that was a future sequel when that came out.
yes.
Before
But
we
they're
move on, do you have
supposedly
anything-
working on the fourth. They're supposedly working on the fourth one, which is going to be the best of the four. I'm like, I have to watch the third one, because even though
So you
Papa
got
doesn't do
Jeepers
horror,
Creepers Tokyo Drift.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
So before we move on, Jacob, do you have any thoughts about the Spider-Man title?
So I did hop on, and y'all were talking about how it was kind of funny but not needed of the home endings. So fun fact, something y'all don't know about me: I'm a father. I have 3 kids, and their names end with the E sound. So I have Toby, Jamie, and Hadley. Toby, it just happened. Jamie, it kind of happened too. We weren't planning on, hey, let's have them all in the same. But then with Hadley, it's like, we really have to. So I'm kind of wondering if it's the same with this one. The first one was Homecoming. The second one, hey, let's throw something home in there. And then the third one, hey, we have to.
Yeah, it's out of obligation.
Yeah, they're expecting it, so we need
Yeah.
to do it. That's
'Cause
what
then
worries
if
me
they-
about it, to
If
be
they
honest.
didn't, that third one would be left out.
Because if they're just giving us what we're
Hadley-
expecting, I'm going to be bored.
Now, what I really need is
Yeah,
because
I can
John
just
Watts is
imagine
directing-
Hadley not being named Hadley. And she's like, why do I not have an E sound? Y'all must not love me. And that's not true.
Oh, that's like my family. My name's Aaron. My younger brother's name, by coincidence, is Evan, and my sister's name is Mackenzie. So it just,
Oh, nice.
again, nothing. It not on purpose.
Yeah.
It was just like, that's weird. Why aren't
Yeah,
she's asked that
just
question? I think,
happened.
why aren't I named the same? It's like luck.
Yeah.
No. So I was gonna say I don't know what I was gonna say actually. Let's move on. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna move some things out. Of order
I was
'cause
gonna say something real quick though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Broken!
I was gonna say something real quick. I'm where I wanted to be, so I will see y'all later. Y'all have a good one.
Later, Jacob. A Jacob
Fun he
cameo.
played that.
So let's
because-
go ahead and.
Oh,
move
wait, Devin's
on.
got something.
Oh, go ahead.
So, in Jeepers Creepers 1, 2, and 3, the main actor in that is Jonathan Breck.
Jonathan Peck.
Breck.
Well, that's not who you think it is, then.
Too bad. He
Too bad.
was in an episode of Star Trek Voyager.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Jonathan Peck, who is Spock. On Discovery and Strange New Worlds.
Okay,
So I thought he said it wrong.
He was also in the 4th Spy Kids movie.
Oh, wow.
that's horrible crap.
Okay, that was the one that
Alright.
sucked. Ricardo Montalban wasn't in that one.
Hold on. The 4th one is where you draw the line at those suck?
Yeah, Khan's not in it. I like the first 3. I really like the first 3. The first 3 with those 2 original kids, I like that. I was the right age at that time. I like Robert Rodriguez. Book of Boba Fett, that's going to be cool. I like Machete. Machete.
Yeah, I was just about to say that's where Machete. If you, I'm still here.
Yelling.
I just had to get off camera for a few minutes.
Yeah. No.
If you actually look
Into a voice bud.
Hold on. Let me turn this down. Is that better?
You sounded like you were doing a transmission on Camino, like caught in the rain. I've found the bounty hunter Jango Fett!
Sorry. No, I turned up the mic, didn't realize it. If you actually go through Danny Trejo's characters' names in all of Robert Rodriguez's films, they all have a knife name to them.
Yeah, and Machete is the same Machete as in Machete. It's connected.
It is.
Speaking of which, Alexa Vega from those movies, she married Carlos Pena.
Alexa Vega
Who's
is
that?
fine
Yeah.
as hell now.
She is, and she married Carlos Pena from Haverhill High School, where Devin went, and from the Tampa Bay Rays, Chicago White Sox, Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees baseball player. I didn't know that. If you're a baseball fan, probably not.
Wasn't he like already old by the time she was a kid?
No, I mean, so she's like, what, my age? So he's probably like 7 years older than her.
All right.
7,
no,
8,
So
yeah.
I'm gonna move on just briefly.
Hey, you asked.
Go into the next. Sorry.
There was 1 year age difference between Carlos Pena and Lex Vega. She's 32, he's 31.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he was young when he came into the league. Yeah, she's beautiful. That was her in Spy Kids. That was her in Machete too.
All right.
Gorgeous.
Sorry, hold on.
I've been trying for the last 5 minutes, but I'm gonna play the next video, and we'll get into the next topic since we're pretty much got through everything with this one. Here we go.
I don't know who pulled that up.
Paramount Plus, the upcoming facelift for CBS All Access, made waves in the news this week for 2 big reasons. The first of which was that the streaming service announced it has signed a deal with theaters to shorten the theatrical window on Paramount's next 2 blockbusters. A Quiet Place Part 2 and Mission Impossible 7 are both set to be in theaters exclusively for 45 days instead of the traditional 90, cutting the theatrical window in half. After the 45-day mark, they are eligible to premiere on Paramount Plus. This is one of many unique deals that studios have signed with theater chains during the pandemic, all of which have their own quirks or oddities. Paramount was quick to stress that this is a 2-film deal simply for their 2 blockbusters this year, and that they have no intention to stretch it further into 2022. The other big announcement was that Paramount Plus released a long list of original content they plan to produce over the first years of the service. I'll be displaying the full list on screen and be listing some highlight-worthy additions. This list includes a live-action Dora the Explorer reboot, a live-action Fairly Oddparents reboot, a Frasier sequel series, a Rugrats revival with the original cast, a SpongeBob prequel series based off the film that was premiering on the service, an Avatar: The Last Airbender expansion that will be led by the brand new Avatar Studios, which is being led by Michael DiMartino and Brian Konietzko. Apparently, Avatar plans to majorly expand over the service, with the first being a feature-length film animation, and it will not be connected to the live-action reboot currently in the works at Netflix. Star Trek Prodigy, an animated Star Trek show made for children, co-produced by Nickelodeon. Season 4 of Star Trek Discovery, which was not originally thought to be ready to air this year, but will air in 2021. And I'm going to circle the images back around again, just in case you wanted to read back. We also have an Italian Job reboot, The Weekly Show with Trevor Noah, a spin-off from The Daily Show, a Beavis and Butthead Do America sequel, and the Halo television series led by Pablo Schreiber, which moves from Showtime to Paramount Plus. All of these shows are set to air over the streaming services, first 2 years in open use.
Criminal Minds.
Okay.
Criminal Minds. Devin saw that and said, Criminal Minds.
Hold on.
What kind of
Hey, fuck you. I
Hold
like
on.
Criminal Minds too.
it's garbage.
All right. So, before we get into that, while I was doing while that video was playing, I had to research it because I was incredibly curious that this was a thing that I'd never heard of. Carlos Pena, the baseball player, is 42 years old. The Carlos Pena that Alexa Vega is married to is Carlos Pena Jr., not related to the baseball player.
Oh, come on.
Actually an actor who was on the Nickelodeon show Big Time Rush.
Well, why did you have to? You don't have to correct everything. We'll get more comments if you don't correct me.
Right. Okay. I'm jumping in first because I actually have a CBS All Access account that's going to roll into Paramount. One, the Beavis and Butthead Do America sequel. That is goddamn fantastic. I'm so stoked about that. Criminal Minds is a really cool show if you like the psychological thriller. Clarice sucks. That show is garbage. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. It doesn't change anything. It just rolls over what they've already got. Yo MTV Raps is coming back. Like that was on your list. I grew up watching that. I know, Maddie, you're white. What the fuck? You can at me, dog.
Oh, you're just very loud.
I mean,
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm breathing over something, so that's I'm talking over something.
So to address the comments that just showed up, the Dora reboot has nothing to do with the live-action film that was put in theaters. The actress that played Dora, I believe her name is Isabella Moner, is not coming back to the role. It's a completely unrelated project.
It's like the Rush Hour reboot on CBS and all those shows they do on CBS.
Hopefully
and she's 18 anyway. I think she's going to be 19 or 20 this year, so it wouldn't really make sense to have somebody that old. If you're going to do a live-action show, okay, fine.
It would be like having a
For the movie,
25-year-old
that's
playing
one
a high school student in
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
but a movie and a TV show is different. If you're going to reboot the TV show, you got to go with a kid. You got to go with somebody that actually looks like they're under the age of 10.
Yeah, no, but no kid on TV. Like, look at all those CW shows about high school students. They're all mid-20s, early 30s.
but
like they're
Buffy the Vampire Slayer had a balding man at a
What?
locker.
They look like they're in their 20s.
in her show.
I mean,
no, I know, but what I'm saying is they're going to obviously age it up for the well, I didn't know. They're not going to have a 6-year-old live-action Dora.
Why not?
Is that what they're saying? It's going to be
animated.
Play that.
Okay, Malcolm, go ahead.
I mean, as someone who's not sure if Paramount Plus is ever going to release in New Zealand, some of these things like I'm kind of excited about. Like they showed the picture of this new Rugrats show. It's like a computer animated SpongeBob-y style. I'm one of those ones that I really love Rugrats as a kid. I'm glad that they're getting as much of the original cast back because obviously the person that plays Chucky can't come back. Unfortunately, did pass away a few years ago. But it's the look of it. I don't hate the look as long as the story itself is good.
No, I don't think it looks terrible.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. It's
also, I just have to address it, Chris, calm down in the comments, man. I know you didn't like Tom and Jerry, but calm down.
We know. Look, I haven't seen Tom and Jerry yet, but you have a couple birds. You have the birds in the beginning rapping. I mean, come on.
Right,
Anyways,
Chris didn't like
continue.
Tom and Jerry. That's news to me. Lots like he's mentioned it 5 or 6 times already.
I like Chloe Moretz stuff.
Is there a Tom and Jerry movie?
5 or 6 times since
I completely
showed
forgot
up.
what else was. I completely
All right.
forgot what-
I just go ahead, Malcolm. Continue.
I kind of don't know why we're getting a live action Fairly Odd Parents. Like
because the movies
we've kind of had it already for the with the movies, but
with Drake Bell.
But yeah,
Wait, okay, wait.
I just don't know why
time.
they're doing it again.
There was a movie version of Fairly Odd Parents.
There's
It
3 of them.
was 3 live action Fairly
Yep,
Odd
They're
Parents.
no.
terrible.
Yeah, they're
They're
bad.
fucking
Way.
terrible.
Bad.
They're fucking terrible.
Okay, I have to look this up.
How have
so-
you not heard of this?
But what I can say about the Fairly Odd Parents movie
What
or
the
show
fuck?
coming out this year
This looks
or
so
whenever,
good.
it's
All
terrible.
right, Maddie,
It's
hold on.
terrible.
While you're looking at it, I'm just going to mute you briefly. Go ahead, Matt.
So the Fairly Odd Parents is a show, correct? Not a movie. Like for the reboot.
The
anyway?
reboot's a show. Yes, it's
Okay,
a live
cool.
action adaptation.
Okay. Well, I can say the guy that created the original show he's going to be involved, making the show and everything. So it's not like you're getting a new person doing it. So I do have faith in them for that.
Right.
Please, I'll bring Drake Bell back.
I was going to say, well, one of the things is Fairly Odd Parents, which I believe the show is over. Like, they did end it.
Yeah, they did.
But Fairly Odd Parents was one of those shows that kind of ended up going the way of SpongeBob, where at some point the original creator kind of came to blows with Nickelodeon, got ousted, and the show just kept fucking going until I guess at some point Fairly Odd Parents got ran into the ground just a little deeper than SpongeBob, so they canned it.
Right.
True. While we're on SpongeBob, I'm kind of curious how this new SpongeBob show is going to be because once again, the creator has since passed on.
Yes.
And so it's going to be someone else involved with this, I don't know how it's going to work.
Which part of me wonders, I don't know who is involved with it, but I know it is related to the third film, which is set to release the first week of March, along with the rebranding. They're releasing the film, and I've heard the film's not bad. I've heard the film's pretty decent.
I don't know who you've been talking to. I've watched it because it's on Netflix over here. It released last year. Yeah. It's not good.
Okay.
It's not really
Wait, they had something released in Europe a year before it releases in the US?
Yeah,
So
that seems like
CBS All Access. CBS All Access is an American-only service, so they withheld it to which the date's always been early March, so I think they withheld it to launch it with Paramount Plus. But internationally, they distributed it in theaters where they could and distributed it to other services where they could.
Netflix had the international rights for SpongeBob.
Yeah,
I don't think it ever went to cinemas.
Canada.
I think Canada's the only place that had it in cinemas. Everywhere else had it on streaming service.
Fair enough. So I want
to answer the question about the somebody asked how it's going to follow. It is following 10-year-old SpongeBob and his friends at a sleepaway camp,
which is a part of the movie, right, Malcolm? I don't have that wrong. You're muted.
It's been a while since I've watched it. I only remember brief flashbacks to it.
Right, because it has to do with missing Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah. But those flashbacks are where they're picking up with this show. It'll be within that.
And the Paw Patrol movie. You also forgot the Paw Patrol movie that will be, last I heard, will be released with the launch of Paramount Plus.
Are we getting the police one?
Not forget the Paw Patrol.
We're getting the police one?
Yeah, he didn't forget it. He just didn't know about it.
No,
is the police dog coming back in this one?
Caleb is like...
I don't know. Huge with kids.
Fuck, I don't know. Oh, Caleb's not. Yeah, he was a huge fan of it like a couple of years ago, and then he saw that they were making a movie, so he's really excited about it because, like I said, we're just gonna swap from one to the other, just kind of like WWE Network's doing with Peacock. Middle of March, they're closing in the United States only. They're closing the WWE Network and moving it to Peacock.
Right.
So it's kind of the same thing. So I'm looking at like a list of things because I missed some of what he was saying. That Matt, by the way, Beavis and Butthead, it's a movie leading into a new series.
Thank God we're getting a new show.
I'm actually kind of
well, I remember how long ago was the I guess the reboot for the show or whatever came out.
2011, I think it was.
2011. They only had one season, but I liked that too. I thought that was a pretty good season. Coming back to it was a lot of fun, so I'm happy.
Foo Fighters' David Grohl has his own series in the works. I don't know what that's gonna be.
Dave Grohl is awesome. What's he doing with that? Is it like the Jeff Goldblum thing where it's just Dave Grohl looking at sneakers?
I don't know. Hold on.
While playing the guitar.
Let me see what I can
find.
That's actually interesting. Grohl's a cool guy.
Well, I was gonna say I wanted to bring up and get into one of the two shows that excite me that like to a level where I would actually sign up for the service because I actually think I do have CBS All Access. I don't use it for anything except to watch Champions League soccer.
Not Star Trek?
For those in Malcolm's field.
You don't watch Star Trek?
I've not, no. If it you know what I will do when I get to Generations, if it doesn't load on your server first, then I will go to CBS for that because I know it's on there.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's not something I know what you're talking about.
All right, whatever. So anyways, so with that being said, the two things that really excite me, one, the Halo series.
Yes.
As someone who grew up playing those games, which is not a good thing to say, but as someone who grew up playing those games, I'm actually really interested to see an interpretation of it. I think Pablo Schreiber is honestly decently solid casting for Master Chief. I think it's a good way for an actor who's done decent in everything he's been in, but never had a starring role like this to get something that could boost him.
Is it going to be like Mandalorian where he doesn't take the helmet off?
My headphones. So. Wait, my headphones muted. Who's playing Master Chief?
Pablo Schreiber.
Oh, I like that. That's a good pick.
Most people will recognize his last name. He is Liev Schreiber's brother. His biggest film role to date, I believe, was the 2018 film Den of Thieves, in which he played the lead thief, if you want to call him that. It really, it's
naturally.
It's also, I also call it Discount Heat because it's just Discount Heat. But yeah, so I'm excited for that one. Because I think, and they got some really good actors in it as well. I know Bokeem Woodbine's a part of that show, and there's a couple of other actors they've announced that I think it's a really solid cast. And I think if they don't try and directly adapt the games, but take influence from all different types of Halo media and make their own original series out of it, I think it could really work. The other thing is Avatar. I'm a huge fan of Avatar. I love the original show. Earlier this year, or actually not this year, technically last year now, I watched The Legend of Korra for the first time, which, while it took a bit to get into, I think its first 2 seasons are a little rough. By the 3rd season, it really picks up, and it doesn't quite ever reach the levels of the first show, but I think it does become its own solid show by the end. I actually think this is the reason the guys left Netflix now. Part of me wonders if there really was some fault, because they never said why they left. They just said they left, and everyone assumed it was some creative falling out. Part of me wonders if they just left because, and I didn't include it just because it's, a detail I can leave out, but their role within the company isn't just, they're helping creatively with the shows. They have been named the CCOs of this company. So they are quite literally at the head of this company. And I think that's
so. This is for live action, correct?
No, so this is for animation. They will be making new.
It's an animated.
New animated series and shows to expand on the Avatar universe.
I was hoping it was going to be like a redo at the live act, like they were going to try to take another shot at the live act. Because since we talked about it last time.
That's still happening on Netflix.
Oh, it is? Okay, so great. Since we talked about it last time, I have watched some of Avatar, and we watched like the first half a season. And some of those episodes were directed by Dave Filoni.
Yes,
I think we saw up to Jet showing up.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first 10 episodes.
Pretty much.
Don't like it.
I would
I just don't like
watching it because as it goes on, it gets more mature and it becomes.
That's what people say.
You need to get
it gets better and better.
First, 2 seasons. Once you get towards the 3rd book, it gets so much better.
We are almost done Firefly though. That was another one you said you watched. 50-50. Half of them suck, half of them are good.
Nikki,
you need to watch Firefly in order. You have to watch it in order, though.
Yeah, we're watching it in order.
So what I was going to say is with Avatar, if you're willing to give it a shot and keep going, get past the first season. As much as I like Filoni, and he does have a lot of creative control over that first season, it is far and away the weakest of the 3. It greatly improves going into the 2nd season. Because what they do is they add new cast members that round out holes that the show didn't appear to have. It's one of those situations where they actually added cast members that worked and made the show feel more complete than it was in the first season. And I think that greatly adds to the show. And the 2nd season on it gets darker, it becomes a little more mature. It's still clearly a kid's show, but it does kind of that Clone Wars thing where they start taking steps towards trying to appeal to both sides of the coin, the audience.
Clone Wars had Anakin, though. Clone Wars benefited because it had Anakin. That's what always kept me coming back to Clone Wars. I don't like this, but maybe Anakin's going to show up in this episode. Or maybe Darth Maul is going to be in this episode. With Avatar, I never, my first exposure to that was the Shamhammer movie. And from that point, it's I just don't care about it. I don't care about the characters.
But it's completely separated, so you have to just ignore that. Those characters are not proper interpretations.
No, I know. I just hate the characters in the animation.
By the way, Nikki, you do know that the Fire Lord is voiced by Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill,
we did. I don't really see just because you have a known voice actor. I think George Takei might have done a couple episodes.
He was the warden.
I don't care about that stuff. That doesn't get me. Because it all comes down to the dialogue that they have and the way they're being directed. Because you could have Morgan Freeman.
you could actually skip to the second season, and that's where the dialogue becomes more adult. It becomes a kids show with adults in mind.
That helps, because the dialogue is what the worst part of it is. The problem that I have with the show is that everything that I hate about animation is in that first season of that show, which worries me about that Prodigy show that they brought up, which seems like it's going to be taking place entirely in the Delta Quadrant and just have recordings from Captain Janeway, because it's an all alien like crew that they showed the pictures of.
I will say, Nikki, if this will get you a little more excited, in the show, the character Mark Hamill says, "I am a Fire Lord," or Fire Lord, right? I am a Fire Lord, like my father before me. So if you're interested, they do take a little bit of Star Wars stuff and add it into the show. What's in the lines?
Okay.
I am no Airbender.
I looked up the David Grohl show. Basically what it is a direct-to-TV adaptation of his mom's book from cradle to stage. What it is it is a it is a
like that Young Rock
6-part it is a 6-part unscripted series that follows different lead singers, Beastie Boys, Mike D, Rems, Michael Stipe, the Ham Sisters, Amy Winehouse, Dr. Dre, and Adam Levine. And it is the relationship between the musician and their mom.
Oh, so it's a docuseries. Okay.
They should do a Kanye episode.
It looks like it might be pretty... Like, what I was reading is it actually looks like it might be pretty good.
I'm not as interested as I once was.
So while you guys were talking about Avatar again, I was reading like the first chapter of the book, and it's really insightful. Like it's told from the point of view of his mother and like the relationship they have. So it seems like it might be actually pretty good. To answer Diaz's question, the Pet Cemetery show is in development still. They haven't started it yet as of now.
Is that Jason Clarke, or are they rebooting it again?
It's actually a prequel.
To a movie, or just an
I'm sorry. I muted myself. I'm trying to adjust my headphone cord. It is a prequel to the 2019 movie, which I actually liked.
Sure. Okay.
Not liked isn't something I would go out and buy, but it was fine.
Yeah, it was all right.
You know, and like, you know, today we were talking in our chat about like the movie I was watching, and it was Justice League. I find parts of Justice League that I think are fun. So, you know,
and
I know Nikki's getting ready to blow.
Most of that movie's going to be in the Snyder Cut too. Most of that movie will be in the Snyder Cut.
And on that note, I'm gonna leave before Nikki blows his top.
Right. Well, I do want to ask something though.
God walked to Maddie's house to beat him up.
Right.
He's going to walk from Massachusetts to Arizona on foot. He'll be there by next week. So
I do want to ask something though.
He'll die before he leaves this town.
Devin's just annoyed that Nikki left him muted. He needed to make sure.
I can't fucking talk.
Go ahead, Dev.
We made it to season 1, episode 14, The Fortune Teller.
Okay, so you got past the blue spirit and all that, because to me that's one of the best parts of the season. That's one of the best parts of the season. Okay, so if I'm being honest with you, and I'll double check with you after the show. If the first season is what you're having trouble with, you can pretty much just skip to the end when they get to the Northern Water Tribe, watch the finale, and then go to season 2. If I remember correctly, and I'll double check myself, nothing happens in between that's important.
No, they're filler episodes. You're right.
Got to the Water Tribe and the Deserter.
You also got through what is undeniably the worst episode of the whole show. You've already gotten past the worst episode.
Yeah.
Which one's that?
The Great Divide.
That was the episode I was most.
I cannot remember it. I just remember being annoyed.
Yeah, that is, in my opinion, that is easily, like, undeniably the worst episode of the whole show.
True. I do want to ask something.
before we close tonight, I want to go off of something that Malcolm had done. They did on Take 3 last night. I want you guys to think about one bad movie that is really good.
Bad movie that's really good.
If I think it's bad, why would I think it's good?
It's so bad that it's good.
Like Transformers.
Oh, I get what you're saying. One of so bad.
Well, no,
it's good.
Transformers. I mean, like, I don't know if anyone else saw it, but I saw Arctic Dogs in theaters. That was pretty fucking bad, but also pretty enjoyable.
Was that the Cuba Gooding Jr. one?
No, so this is an animated film.
No, that's Snow Dogs.
Okay, thank you.
So,
very close.
So this is an animated film whose cast consists of Jeremy Renner, Alec Baldwin, John Cleese, James Franco.
You had us on the edge there with the John. He's like, John. Turturro?
John Cleese, James Franco, Heidi Klum, Omar Sy. It's got a way better cast than it deserves. Here's how I'll pitch it. Jeremy Renner sounds asleep the whole time. John Cleese is playing an over-the-top half walrus, half robot villain.
So John Cleese.
James Franco is clearly high because you hear audible reactions to things happening in the script that sound like gaffes, like they just let through by accident. But he is audibly high and is doing a French accent the whole time. And the soundtrack is entirely made up of Jeremy Renner's music.
Oh my god, you sold me right there. Does he do the Hawkeye song? Have you heard the Hawkeye song? The Hawkeye song's amazing.
Oh, the Thinking Out Loud cover? Yeah, I like that. Actually,
I still haven't lost my virginity.
But it's not terrible.
It's a funny song.
I have kids.
Like his cover of House of the Rising Sun is not the best cover of that song, but it's not the worst either.
I remember the first time I saw him on was an episode of House where he played like this rock star that was dying, and he died. Like one of the first like few patients that Hugh Laurie couldn't save with his wit and his bad demeanor.
Well,
anyway.
Things... Go ahead, Mark.
No, I was about to say, just put us back onto what the topic actually was. This 45 days for Quiet Place Part 2 and Mission Impossible 7.
Yeah. So, like, ready for that.
I mean, it was one of those ones, like, obviously it was bound to happen this year, and I'm kind of glad that they're not pissing off theatres by doing it day and day, like what HBO did, and they clearly they probably talked to them beforehand.
And there was discussion.
It's almost the opposite of what HBO did. Like instead of having that back end that like you'll have exclusive to the theaters, you're only getting that front end that's exclusive to the theaters, and that's when people see those movies anyway.
Right. And, you know, this is the exact opposite of HBO's deal. It was thought out. It was considerate. It was contacted to all parties.
Right.
And it didn't piss everybody off. Because this is, like, even Universal's deal is one that makes sense. I think 17 days is a really tight window to make money off of. But at least they said the first 2.5 weeks where you will make your most money, they're all yours.
And it's just this year, right?
As of
Paramount's
that's
deal,
so. I think that's so fair in this climate.
So here's the thing: Paramount's deal isn't even for this year. It's literally just signed for Quiet Place 2 and Mission Impossible 7, which they consider to be their blockbuster films. So they want to make sure theaters have a chance to make money, but they also want to get them to their streaming service as quickly as possible.
And we do need to acknowledge something that this is like they're adding things, but. Overall, this is a rebrand. Like, this is pretty much a rebrand of a failed streaming service, and that comes from somebody who loves all the Star Trek stuff they've been pumping out. But that is all that they've had.
CBS All Access was a failure in and of itself, because the only other show that I think found any sort of success was Twilight Zone, and that got canned after 2 seasons.
And it's the same audience, too. Like you're not getting much different audience.
You guys are forgetting that they also did the Big Brother, all the Big Brother.
Big Brother live feeds, yes, you are correct. They did do that. My sister loved that.
As well as they did a couple of CBS All Access exclusive shows. They did 2 or 3 seasons. They called it
they were bad though.
Over the top, and then they did the then they did the 2 celebrity seasons. So they did 4 or 5 seasons.
That's like a niche fan base. Like that's a very like those Big Brother fans are so passionate. Like, no, but but that's the thing about Big Brother fans. They will pay, but they'll pay that premium for the live feeds. Big Brother fans will. Star Trek fans, most of them will just pirate it, or use a VPN and watch it on European Netflix because it's on Netflix in Europe. There you go.
That's the reason I got CBS All Access was because of the live feeds. Because
that's what most people did.
I have a few friends that we actually log on to the live feeds and we set up a private room where it's just us chatting and we're watching the live feeds at the same time.
I used to do that, and then I started talking to women.
You don't talk
to women. That is a great comment to close the show out on. Before I close it out, I'm going to go ahead and address one comment quickly, bring it up. The only reason I don't think they did the deal for Top Gun Maverick is because I think they're going to move Top Gun Maverick, quite honestly. It's been rumored already. Paramount moved a lot of the rest of their stuff to 2022 already. I think they're going to wait and see where the climate is. But if maybe by May it's not there, I think it's getting bumped.
They're being wise.
They're being wise because I think if we're in a place where more people than in the moment can go to theaters, I think they'll want to make as much money out of a theater as possible on it. But if it's not, then it gets bumped, plain and simple.
No, because I mean, I looked at the release dates for the ones to that have to deal with, like Quiet Players Part 2 is March.
Is it March of next year again?
Well, I mean, I will double check because
I was looking at
it's
March of this year. No, it's March of this year.
Thank God.
No, it's,
I don't think John Krasinski would have survived.
Right.
No, it's 17th of September. It is September this year,
okay.
and Maverick is Maverick's July, but I do agree with you that it might move.
Yeah.
I think it's a case of because it's July, they don't want to do anything hasty with it until it gets closer to the time.
Yeah, based on the climate right now, like I'm more optimistic than I've ever been. I think Black Widow is going to make its release date.
I think,
that's what I'm gauging as like the barometer, and I think it's going to make it.
And even then, this was I don't remember if this was a story that got cut or if we went over it, but Disney's given Feige a deadline where Disney said, look, you make the final call on if we release it or not. But you have till the end of March to make that decision. If by the end of March you're not saying move it, then we're keeping it and we're going for it and seeing what happens. But they're giving themselves a deadline. So, but with that, thank you guys for watching tonight. We're a little over the 2-hour mark at this point, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up. We'll go ahead and close out and pass it around. Maddie, welcome back to the show, man. I know it's not as much a full capacity as you like, but we'll get there slowly. We never went over it publicly on the show. Once we found out what happened, that was a decision that we made not to talk about, but Maddie was out due to health reasons. There's a global health pandemic, and unfortunately, Maddie was one of many who got hit. But thankfully, he is here with us and recovering in health. So, Maddie, welcome back to the show, man. We look forward to having you more and more. Where can people find you, brother?
You can find me at Facebook at Matt Graham. Obviously, I'm all over the TMG. I will be getting Suplex City chats back going probably sooner than later. I'm in the process of reworking that. You can find me on Twitter now at Matt GRA 67016414. Don't ask me what the numbers were. That's what it said, and I just didn't feel like changing it. And I'm going to start coming back to this show that I helped create.
Malcolm, thank you for coming on tonight, man. It was great to have the opportunity to have you. If you ever have the Saturday nights free again, we'd love to have you back. Where can people find you?
You can find me over on Take Through a host Rankum usually every Saturday nights, but last night we did Top 12 So Bad It's Good movies. I have next week we're going to be talking about Top 12 science fiction movies of the 2010s, as long as the poll hasn't changed. You can also find me over on Full Metal, where I host Classic on Sundays and Full Metal Random on Tuesdays, and this week is a movie release dates match.
Absolutely. Nikki and Devin, thank you guys for being here. Where can people find you?
Just here. Like, we're here doing this stuff. Hopefully doing that Marvel stuff that Beer mentioned. Maddie, great to have you back. Glad you're back. Hope we can do some more of that, like, happy hour stuff. Get more of the games and stuff, because we got that, what was that game we used to be? Quiplash?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we gotta get into it. Devin has the newest version of it, so we gotta do that some night. Get that together. But yeah, good to have you guys back. Beer, happy birthday. Malcolm, good having you on tonight. Aaron, thanks for doing all those videos. Devin, what do you got?
You can find me on Instagram at Hematemia.
Oh,
where my fingers are much better than my mouth.
Oh,
yeah.
That's what she said.
And that's his Tinder bio. Matt, where can people find you, bro?
Yeah, that would be a great Tinder bio. You can find me here on this channel doing shows. And you're going to notice, depending on what show is on at what point, the outro will be a little different. So you'll notice a little something for this Friday. We're going to be doing the WandaVision spoiler discussion for the the season, more than likely the series. We'll be doing it probably at 8, I would say. It's the fair time, Eastern Standard Time. It's going to run for about an hour because I got to get around for work at 9. So we're going to be doing that on Fridays. Inside the Horseshoe is going to be taking a break because the off season is here and there's not going to be a whole lot. We'll probably do free agency coverage. We'll do draft coverage, and then when the preseason's around, we'll do our predictions on who we think is going to win the division. And then you can find me on here.
Tennessee again.
And Tennessee's not going to win it. Tennessee's definitely not going to win it. You guys are going to lose some defensive guys. It's going to hurt you guys. Plus, you guys are going to lose a receiver and Corey Davis. And that's actually going to be bigger than you think.
Oh, my God.
Corey Davis is gone. But I might, because Diaz did bring it up in the comments that the Golden Globes is tomorrow. I completely forgot that was tomorrow. So
Is it really?
if I'm feeling up to it,
don't care.
like I totally forgot about it. But if I'm feeling
I
up to
want
it,
to. Who's hosting?
tomorrow, I think
Tina and Amy.
Tina and Amy. Yeah.
Amy? Better than Ricky
Tomorrow we
Gervais.
might
I mean,
do a
nobody will get
live-
offended.
Right. We might do a live reaction though tomorrow when it's on.
It's
if I'm
safe.
feeling up
It's
to it. So
All
yeah,
right.
I think I got everything.
And anything you missed, I'll probably go over as a part of this. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. Click the bell to be notified on everything that we're releasing, as more and more and more we are becoming the show network that we want to become here on TMG Entertainment. Saturdays, as always, we have After Dark. Sundays at noon, we have the Supernova Show. Mondays at 7 o'clock, we have Schmo Talks, our Schmodown interview show. This Monday, we were supposed to have our next in our series of season flashbacks. At the last minute, a change has come up. I will be interviewing Jesse the Jackal, who makes his debut on the Schmodown this week. So we'll have an interview with him for that. Obviously, during the midweek, we have Horseshoe and Suplex, which are both currently on hiatus. They'll be back as soon as we can. And, of course, our WandaVision review leading into other reviews next Friday. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to tune in next time. For everyone here at TMG, my name is Aaron Knoll. We'll see you there.